There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down, and I came here for one reason: to attack and keep coming.
I did this for the Rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, where you would be for life.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what you gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! Fire! I won't ride in nothing but limousines, and I won't make love to nothing but the women of the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime. Woo!
Sweet. My belly's just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
If you can survive, if I let you.
Orderly!
Woo! It is Rolex time, Folks of Raven.
You just made the list!
Who's your beat, brother?
You dig that, sucker?
I am the game!
The whole show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
You son of a bitch. Brock Lesnar. Damn.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, you didn't know? I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace.
Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat out, straight up, lying, crying bitch.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in axe and sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my cat? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest, cause niggas is a mess. It don't take nothing but front for me to start something. Bugging and bucking at niggas like I was duck hunting. Dumbing out just me and my crew, cause all we wanna do is bullshit, and we party. 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 Bullshit, and we party.
Oh, Anthony has finally picked the right song for the occasion. All right, Anthony.
A little bit of partying, a lot of bullshit to get into tonight.
There, you're right. There it is. And where is the party tonight? It is right motherfucking here. How is everyone doing? Hope you're all doing all right. It is our 100th episode of the Dirt Sheet Dudes. And of course, we would not be here without all of you in the chat room, all of you downloading. And these guys all sitting right across from me. First, Anthony, I gotta say, you, sir, have been with me since day one, show one, and I much appreciate it. Love you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to get too overly sentimental here, but you know, fuck it, it's the 100th episode. This shit started for me on a lark way back in 2015. It started off as just a caller on a little old podcast called the THT podcast. Some of you may have heard of it. Shaheen, Box. Without those two guys, I wouldn't, be a part of this community. If I have gotten good, developed any type of a voice in this whole podcasting game, I owe it to those two gentlemen. along with the two gentlemen that I'm privileged to be across from right now as well, Smart and Bobby. Thank you guys too, and any Antox, Weaves, everybody in the chat that we've interacted with over the years. Just much love. Just thank you for downloading, listening, echoing everything Box just said. Love you too, bro.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And Smart, you joined us a little late, but you've been here for most of these episodes. Much appreciated, brother.
Yes, sir. Got my tuxedo on. It's going to be quite the happening evening tonight.
Yes, it is. Bobby?
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah, you've been around for a long time, too, you old dog.
Man, it's kind of hard to believe, actually, that it was 100 episodes, man. It's been 100 episodes. It's like that time just completely flew by, man.
Yeah. I mean,
like it's been a blur.
I know. I mean, we started off doing one a week, and then we went to 2 a week, which is why we're so fast at 100. But I mean, we'll be at a year in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah. yeah. But for me, just to get into a little history real quick, I'm not going to go super deep into it, but I've been around since before you even knew who I was, Like, I've been around since the seed was even planted back in the IYH days, I mean, that's where I know you guys from. That's where I even knew a very young and impressionable Smart.
I appreciate the fact that you didn't say asshole.
It's early. It's early.
Why did you know how to read between lines? but yeah, man. It's just amazing, man. It really is amazing. And just like Anthony said, honestly, just to trace things back, if it wasn't for me looking for interviews on YouTube, I never would have found IYH, which never would have led me to THT, which never would have led me to the Dirt Sheet Dudes. And honestly, I wouldn't be doing what I do. I wouldn't be doing a lot of the recording that I'm doing. I wouldn't be making so many podcast appearances. I wouldn't be doing my own show with my ace, Bobby Blades, if it wasn't for that. So, man, everything traces back. It's amazing to me. I'm able to trace everything back to that one little seed that was planted. And I can't say how much I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. That's kind of where it all goes back to, is that IYH show. I mean, that's where me and Shaheen were in the chat room one day, and he's like, man, I'd love to do a podcast. I'm like, I got the software. And that was it. That's how it started. And then no one could hear me, and I started getting my mic and got this, and then I upgraded again, and now we're here, man. And it's, no matter what's going on in my life right now, without Shaheen, the THT obviously wouldn't have existed, and this show wouldn't have either. So, I definitely appreciate, Shaheen no matter what happens. So, I did want to get that out of the way. But, yeah, man.
See, Box, that's who you have to blame for dealing with me all these years. Shaheen, hey, I got a podcast. You like wrestling and shit. You should call in.
I will say, just as somebody who listens, to kind of give you a compliment, Anthony, you have come so far from being the guy who had no idea, like, when not to talk over people.
Yeah. Hey, like I said.
Because I remember there was like 5 motherfuckers on the line, like, every week, and it was just impossible for anybody to get more than, like, 2 words of stuff.
That was my fault, really. I just kept taking calls. Next thing you know, it's a clusterfuck of people. And dude, that was back when we were doing the show in the office. When I was driving to do the show and driving home a little too drunk, probably.
Honestly, at some point, since we're going to get into a lot of fucked up shit, with the scumbags of pro wrestling, that'll be a nice little diversion, positive diversion. Some of the more memorable moments, not just from Dirt Sheet Dudes, but just podcast art history and podcasting in general, because there's been a lot of interesting times. Me with my audio issues, Boxman having to rush the wife to the hospital, just Smart staying going off on some drunken rant. A lot of good times over the years.
I literally I left that office one night and drove myself straight to the hospital.
and came back and finished the show.
That was a different night. That was when I was doing the show from home because the hospital is less than a mile from my house. But one night I was so sick, I went straight from doing the show straight to the hospital from at the office. Man, I thought I was gonna fucking die that night. But yeah, man, IYH was the seed. Even Smart, that's where I knew Smart from too, obviously. And he just kind of came over here, and we got Bod over here every now and then, and I don't know, man. The crew just kind of sticks together. Of course, Weebs. Got to say hi to Weebs.
Yeah.
They banned me, but I still love them.
Yeah.
What was that? What?
I said they fucking banned me, but I still love them.
Yeah. They banned me once too, but it went away. It went away. It's okay.
It always does.
And gotta give a special shout out to Weebs because, to me, my opinion, I don't want to speak for you gentlemen, one of the best one-liner guys in the business. He needs his own show, man. Like, if you ever need a good one-liner, check your chat room.
Yeah.
You'll always get them.
Yeah, you'll always get a good one or two at least out of Weebs. And hey, he's named the show way more than one time. And whether he knows it or not, he has. So
that's why Weebs, man, he is absolutely an important part of the show. I mean, and he's been around. Well, shit, just like me, really. He's been around the seed that was planted, and just his contributions. It's just, I mean, you just can't even say enough about him. He's just that dude, man. A lot of the family that's listening, man. Antox, you just can't say enough about these people. Blades, of course, that's my dude. But I mean, it's just family, man. There's more than just listeners listening.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It honestly, and I don't want to talk like, I mean, I'm not like a main host. I accept that I'm a part of the family. I accept that I come on from time to time, and especially special occasions like this. But I feel like I can say that it's with the listeners of this show. It's definitely more than just listeners. The show really wouldn't be much of anything without the people who are listening and contributing from the outside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the chat room, sorry, Anthony, but the chat room, got to put you all over one more time you guys do keep this show rolling. Antox, Bobby, D-Large, all you guys. It's just amazing. And, there's a bunch listening elsewhere, and we'll get more in the chat as the night goes. But the chat room is definitely one thing that I was kind of adamant on doing. Back in the day, Shaheen didn't really care for it, but I love it, man. The fact that we can interact with you guys in that small way just kind of makes me feel like we're all connected in a way, And there's C-Matt jumping in right now, so sort of, like I said, it just keeps a connection with everybody live that I love. So go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to shout out two more people that I deserve special recognition. One, my old podcasting partner for the short-lived Raymond of Wrestling. Going back to the THT days, Doug Hummer. I mean, I know he's been a good sport about a lot of jokes over the years, but deep down, he's a good dude, man. And he was a big part of the THT days, which once again, Raymond of Pro Wrestling didn't last long, but a lot of seeds. That's the word of the night, seeds. It was planted from this big tree has grown from like very small seeds, and it's just amazing. And other guy that I wanted to make mention of, hope he's listening, from big basement up in upstairs is Russell Sibinala.
Hell yeah.
Well, we had our disagreements, man, but that's one dude that I wish was around to listen to this episode. So if you're listening, we love you, bro.
Definitely. Check out the WrestleMania episode. You can check that out right there on shoutengine.com/dirtsheetdudes. And definitely, you guys can check that out right over there. And you can listen to Doug on Unscripted Wrestling, by the way, with Eric over there. So check him out on all the usual podcast platforms. And man, you said Russell, you got me that caught me off guard. I got to tell you. All right.
Hey, look, man. Like honestly, what I don't know, man. Like once you hit milestone episodes for anything, you start to kind of look back and reminisce on how you got to this point. You can't get to 100 without 99 previous episodes. And like I said, some have been better than others, but the one word that I come back to is fun.
Yeah.
I always leave every episode with a sense of pride. Like, yeah, that was a fucking train wreck, but damn, it was fun making it.
That's what we do, man. And yeah, man. Yeah. And we did, obviously we skipped Wednesday. None of us wanted to be rushing through the show. It's much easier to just do it on the Friday and knock it, especially something like this. I didn't want to rush through and then be all tired as hell for Thursday morning, which I don't give a shit, but it was better. It was better to do it this way, and we can sit here, we can have some fun, we can go long, whatever we need to do. And I got 3 shots in my drink over here, which should do me right in a little while. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I just can't say enough how much the fact that Anthony and Smart, both of you guys, have stuck with my bullshit throughout all this, and I appreciate it. And Bobby, you've stuck with my bullshit too, man.
We all bring a little bullshit, man.
Everybody's got a little bullshit and party comes on with us, you know what I mean? So it's just how it works, man. And like I said, I got 3 drinks. I got the party over here. Shit. Well, now that we've all thrown love in your face and kissed your ass, should we actually get into this wrestling shit? It has been another. The hell is going on out there? I hear a TV like 9,000 decibels. Anyway, it's been another hellish week in wrestling. Guys,
when is it not at this point?
Well, I got to tell you, right now, it is very hard to be a wrestling fan. It is even harder to defend wrestling at this point. People are like, it's kind of a scumbag business. No, but man, okay, you're right. Okay. Okay, you're right. You got me. Okay.
Yeah, and it's honestly, like I said, I've had my moments, but this for no particular reason. Not saying this for brownie points or anything like that, but this was like a hard week for me to actually get through the content. Not even due to a lack of time. I had the time, but it was just like with all of the stories breaking and all of just the scumbag behavior, immoral behavior. Like I said, it's to a point where you can't just write it off as just boys being boys, or that's just the wrestling business. Hardy hard, you can't even laugh it off no more. It's just wrestling has some serious issues, man, that just need to be addressed. A lot of scumbag behavior. And even if you're not a scumbag in terms of participating in the actual behavior, but you knew of it, you're even a worse scumbag. I'm looking at you, Joey Janela, because he's been one of my main culprits this week in terms of pissing me off. These people I knew all along. The fuck? It's like holding this shit in your back pocket, but putting the cart before the horse. Smart, what do you got? What do you think about all the shenanigans this week in wrestling?
It's terrible. I mean, it is what it is. It's not good. And I think you were trying to say, or you were about to say, it's hard to watch this shit when you know more and more about the people that are making it. And it's just like it's all terrible, basically.
Oh, here's my little take on, and I said this in the messenger to you guys. Wrestling seems to be either filled with scumbags or people who knew scumbag shit was going on and didn't say a fucking word. I'm not sure which is worse. Is it worse to be the scumbag or see scumbag shit and not fucking tell somebody you saw it?
No. I don't know. And look, I know people have their reasons, but to me, I would say it's almost like it's worse to be the scumbag that knew shit was going down. Because it kind of comes across as, yeah, that's fucked up, but I really want to protect my spot. Yeah, I know this dude over here is a child fucker, but my spot, my job, play fighting for a living is more important than the sanctity of a kid, the sanctity of a woman. Yeah, fuck you. I'm sorry. To me, like I said, I understand, like everybody, checks got to clear, brother. But at the same time, some type of morality, some type of morals, some type of code of ethics has to step in. Because I'm assuming that these people have families on the outside. They have people that they care about on the outside. And I'm sure they would feel some type of way if those people were violated. If you're in a business surrounded by people that are violating people in that manner, How the fuck can you sit back with a straight face and say, "Oh, I love my kids, I love my wife. I would kill a motherfucker if they did X, Y, and Z." When you work with a motherfucker who's doing X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And I mean, that's where I'm at with it, man. That's why, like I said, it was very hard for me to get through wrestling this week because I'm obviously, you can't paint everybody with the same broad strokes. There are, I'm sure, plenty of good people in wrestling, but at this point, you don't know who to trust. You don't know who's a good guy on the outside and who's a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, and I mean, even the fans are going fucking nuts. I mean, a fucking fan threatened to literally kill Alexa Bliss's boyfriend. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm looking at the article now. That's what it just popped up. That's what made me say that. But even fans are going fucking nuts. And he literally said the words, "I'm going to kill at Ryan Cabrera. There's nothing you can do to stop me." Yeah.
Which I'm sure is a great way to, ingratiate himself with the target of his interest.
Yeah, I mean, that'll get you laid. I don't know. I mean, that should get you laid, right, guys?
Every time. Works every time.
Hey, fellas, hey. If you really want to make her panties moist, go and threaten her mama. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That'll get you laid real quick.
Shows them that family is important.
Man, I just
imagine the stories they will tell their grandkids about how they met. Well, granddaddy threatened to murder the guy who was going to be your granddaddy, and
how did we meet? Well, he was carrying a bucket full of piss, shit, and milk, and he had a knife.
Most girls would have been out of there the second it happened. I don't know. It kind of turned me on. Okay.
Nice.
Anthony, you got to know where that was.
Yeah.
That was for you, Anthony.
Of course.
I know, of course.
Oh, shit. I got to admit, it turned me on.
Hey. Yeah. Jesus. How do you follow that one up?
I'll tell you what, that's when he should have known to fucking run. Oh, shit, man. But yeah, I mean, dude, when fans are going crazy, and it's definitely, it's crazy times out there no matter what, but even the fans are fucking threatening people, and I mean, Sammy Guevara, obviously, we have that. I even have the audio to that real quick, and his little apology. I think he's going to be one that will be back in AEW. I don't know what you guys think, but I do.
Yeah, and I kind of want to speak on that with the Sammy Guevara thing. First off, kudos to him for manning up and apologizing publicly, privately. Reached out to for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about. Sammy Guevara made a podcast appearance around 2016. Never heard of this podcast. I don't know if Box has the information pulled up. Basically, it's one of those shock jock Howard Stern type podcasts. And Sammy Guevara said something along the lines of he wanted to rape Sasha Banks because she was so hot. Which, by the way, fella, I gotta say that's never a good thing to say to ingratiate yourself. I mean, fuck her brains out, do whatever. But I mean, not to say that that's any better, but you can't throw the rape word around casually. I'm sorry. And I heard a lot of people talking about censorship. You should be able to say what you want. Yeah, you can say what you want, but you also have to accept the consequences. So the same way you have the right to say certain things, you also have to respect the fact that people on the other side also have a right to feel how they feel. And to me, the rape thing is where I kind of draw the line. And I'm sorry, there's certain things that you shouldn't joke about because at the end of the day, if you got people, specifically females in your family, if they fucking got violated, you wouldn't be laughing about it hard. You know what I mean? So I really feel like, I'm sorry, Bob, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I cut you off. But the thing about the comment that he made, though, what makes it different from just, your average irresponsible comment that somebody said, or not even irresponsible, but insensitive comment that somebody makes is his comment, even though obviously he didn't mean it this way, but literally it is a threat. It's a threat of doing physical harm to somebody. It's a threat of assault. It's a flat out literal threat of rape. That's not like just going on TV and just saying fuck. You know, that's different. You know, that's more than just insulting somebody that you don't like. You know, you should be able to insult somebody you don't like. You should be able to make a stupid joke, whatever, you know. But if you're going to go on anywhere and say, I want to rape this person or I want to murder this person, that's completely different. You know, that you can't argue censorship with shit like that. You know, you can't argue freedom of speech with a flat out fucking threat. And that's what he did. His speech, now, obviously, like I said, I believe we know anybody. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think it's pretty obvious that he was never literally planning to rape Sasha Banks, but it was just a stupid, irresponsible thing to say. So, yeah, man. I mean, kudos to him for his apology, which I think was genuine, but it was just a dumb fucking thing to say. I mean, there was never I hesitate to say that, like, 2016 was very recent, and like that's at a time where you have to know that you can't make jokes like that. You know, I mean, it was never appropriate to make jokes like that, but especially in this day and age. And yeah, that was 4 years ago, but I still this day and age, you figure people would fucking know better.
Yeah,
you know,
and you know, and like I said too, in defense of Sam, I do want to put this out there, and Sasha's confirmed it. He did reach out to her. Her husband apologized. They had a talk. She put it out there. She accepted the apology. She explained to him why that was the wrong thing to say, how she felt about it. They cleared the air. He's being punished, in my opinion, appropriately, and he'll come out a better man on the other side of it. Yeah. My rant is the people that are saying, well, he, you know, I guess he's like 26 now. He was maybe about 21, 22 when he said this shit. Well, he was young and dumb. Well, like, we have to stop with this shit up. Oh, he was young and dumb. Like, motherfuckers at 14 know rape is bad. Yeah. Like, you can't put a time frame on, because at that point, you're going to get to the point of people saying, well, you know, it was only 3 months ago. You know, I said such and such. Yeah, I've grown since then. Like, you at some point, you have to just accept stupid shit for what it is, stupid shit, regardless of the age. Mm-hmm. You reach a certain point, once you get into the double digits of your life, you have to start to be accountable for the things you say, the things you do. Yeah. So people have to stop with the shit. Oh, he was only 20. What the fuck, man? I was 21 once, and I said and did a lot of stupid shit, as we all did. But at no point did I think, hey, rape, haha. And that's I feel like that's what made it worse. People say, oh, he didn't mean it that way. That was obvious. But it was literally no punchline. It was just, I want to rape her. It was no punchline. Yeah. I mean, I know, rest in peace, George Carlin. You can make a joke out of anything. But there was no joke there. It was no routine. It was literally, I want to rape her, the end.
Yeah. Well, for me, and I'm sorry, Blacksman, I know you wanted to say something, but for me, I just feel like on his part, it was a very bad choice of words. I get what he was trying to say, but it was just a very stupid and irresponsible thing to say. And it has to raise a red flag. You know, it has to raise, for anybody to say something like that, you have to kind of keep an eye on somebody like that, because in the event that something is to actually happen, you can't, you're no longer able to say, oh, well, I didn't see that coming. I never thought that he would do it. Well, he fucking said it. You know what I mean? Right. If somebody fucking says it, then you kind of have to take it seriously, whether they meant it that way or not.
Right. Yeah. And this was on I'll tell you the truth. I've honestly never heard of this podcast. It's called the Fucking Show Podcast. Or I guess that's the Skype name. It's Kevin Scampoli, called The Fourth Hour. I guess it's the Raw's Fourth Hour. And it happened January 25th, 2016. The audio is only 17 seconds, so let's get that out. And then the apology is only two minutes. So let's go ahead and get this out real quick, and then we'll obviously he was going for the shock jock humor here, but here we go. Let's do this.
Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Charlotte beat them both up.
Bro, Sasha Banks. Oh my God. When I was at the WWE the other week, I wanted to just go fucking rape that woman.
You had a tryout?
Sorta. It was just as an extra thing whenever they came to Texas.
And the host just blew past it like it was nothing.
You had a tryout? Dude, talk about his tryout. You completely gilded the lily on that one, my man. You signed in a deal? We got something we could leak?
I want to sexually assault this woman. Yeah. But wait.
Yeah.
You know, dark match.
Yo, that host obviously is a big Shaheen fan because he sold the shit out of that shit. Like, he just, seriously, like, rape. He kept the conversation going. Like, hey, how's that dark match? Like, what the fuck?
You know what? Again, I get what he was saying. I really do. But honestly, and this is my first time actually hearing the audio, and I get what he was saying. I get what he was going for. I get what he meant. But did kind of sound a little threatening, honestly. I mean, to me, in my opinion, it sounded like just the tone of his voice. And, I wanted to rape her. Oh. You know, I'm like, holy shit, man. That kind of sounds a little threatening. Yeah, I do think it was just a bad choice of words.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was obviously it was a bad choice of words. But, I mean, you know, and two things that I want to say about that. Number one, yeah, the host just blew by it like it meant nothing to him. Like, yeah, sexual assault. So, what can we sell of yours? And then the fact that it took 4 years for this audio to get out. 4 years. I had never heard this before. Anyone else? Am I the only one? I have never heard this audio.
You know what the difference is?
What?
And like I said, I mean, obviously, Sammy, he's not on like a Stone Cold level or anything, but he has some more notoriety. 4 years ago, he was, no-name indie hack, trying to make a name for himself. Now he's on national TV. His name's starting to get out there.
Yeah.
So, and this is a lesson for all you youngsters out there. Whatever you put out into the ether lasts forever. Mm-hmm. At some point, you're going to want to grow in your life. You're going to want to grow in your career, personal, professional, the whole bit. Like I said, don't censor yourself, but just be mindful that whatever you put out into the universe, like, us, for example, we've said any number of fucked up things throughout the years, but it's always been tongue in cheek. It's always been with a wink and a smile type of deal. Never anything meant to harm, or definitely no threats or anything like that.
Yeah. So
you just have to be careful of the tone and the verbiage you put out there. There's a hell of a big difference between, hey, tit talk, 50 minutes of tit talk, ha ha ha, nice set of tits, and I want to rape her. Yeah. And they keep the ball. There's a difference in tone.
Yeah, definitely. I've got the apology. Want to go ahead and play that real quick?
Yeah.
All right. 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Let's see. Hopefully, let's see how YouTube works up here. Here we go.
Okay. I just wanted to get on here real quick and just say there's going to be no vlog today, and there's going to be no vlog for a while. I'm going to take a hiatus from social media in general. I just want to apologize to anybody I let down, to Sasha, to anybody I hurt with my words. It just sucks because 2016 me is not me today. 2020 me would never say those kind of hurtful things that I did in 2016. I used to think it was funny to do some kind of shock humor to pop the room I'm in, but wait for this ambulance to pass. I thought it'd be funny, man, to do that kind of humor, this shock humor. And it's not. I learned along the way. A lot has happened in 4 years of my life. I know a lot of people think 4 years is not that much time, but if you look at how much has happened to me in my life, from wrestling in the middle of nowhere in Texas, to wrestling all around the world, to wrestling in different countries, to wrestling on TV, for AEW, it's so much has happened to me in 4 years. And one of the things that's happened is me growing, man, as a person. I understand now that the words I say can impact people more than I'll ever understand. They can hurt people more than I'll ever realize. And that's why you will not catch me saying these kind of hurtful things now in 2020. 2016 me is a very different me. And that's not an excuse. I still said those things, and I'll still pay for those things. But that's not me. And I think along these 4 years, more than anything, I feel like what I've done is I've grown as a person. Just know whenever I do come back, I will be better. I'm going to do sensitivity training, and I'm going to be a better version of myself. And so again, sorry for anybody I let down, and to Sasha and to anybody I hurt. I will be back. Until then, take it easy. I'll see you when I see you.
All right, real quick, one thing I want to say. One thing I liked about this, he didn't try to deny it. He didn't try to, that was taken out of context, blah, blah, blah. I said those things, and I will pay for those things. That's it. He took it. Yeah. He owned it. I said it. I fucked up. It does sound a little weird. 2016, me being 2016 was like right around the corner. It does sound a little weird, but I do think the fact that he's not trying to walk it back, he's not trying to say it was taken out of context. He's literally owning it. I said that shit. I'll pay for it. I'll do my time. That's not what he said, but that's basically what he meant. And I got to kind of respect that a little bit. I really do. I really do. So go ahead, guys.
Two things I just took away from that real quick. Going dark on social media is a very, very smart idea because because I saw this video, before he put out this apology video, I liked it. But, like I said, very to the point, ownership, good man. But he was liking a lot of suspect shit on social media, specifically Twitter, of people defending him. Yeah, so no big, fuck AEW. I make rape jokes all the time. Ooh. Are you on a list, buddy? I mean, that's the type of shit you know. Now. Taking a break from social media. Yeah, I'm like, yes. So yeah, like a lot, because you know how wrestling fans are. They can never be neutral. There's never any middle ground with a wrestling fan. It's all they're either on one side or the other to the extreme. So going dark, very, very, very smart move. Now, the other thing I kind of wanted to get everybody's opinion on is the punishment, because that's been a very hot topic of discussion. So basically, AEW has made the call to suspend Sammy Guevara indefinitely without pay, and that any monies that were to be owed to him are going to be donated to like a women's charity. Mm-hmm. Too harsh or just right? I personally think I see no harm in the punishment because AEW came out from the get-go, and I said this, documented many episodes ago. They came out. They wanted to be super progressive, pro everybody. They had to take this stand. They had to. This is not one of those things where they could have brushed it under the rug. They had to take almost an extreme stance, whether you agree with it or not. Because look at the press conferences. Look, you can still go on YouTube. All the promises they made. We're going to be pro-black, pro-white, pro-woman, pro-transgender. We're not going to tolerate this, and this. They're a fresh company, not even a year old. They had to draw a line in the sand of what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior in this company.
Yeah, and as far as the punishment, I think it's the right punishment. He's not being accused of any allegations of actual sexual harassment. He made a very, very bad choice in the wording. He said something very stupid, but he didn't. A lot of the other guys right now are actually accused of real harassment and assault. So, I mean, not to say that Sammy's is, nothing, but it's kind of minor compared to what we're hearing about some of the other guys is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and along with that, nothing was actually done, which, again, I mean, that doesn't make him totally innocent. The fact that nothing was actually done on his part. But he acknowledged, just like you said earlier, he acknowledged what he said. He acknowledged that he understands that it was wrong. He made an apology directly to the person who he offended, and he made a statement apologizing to all of us, So, I mean, I think that's great. And to add to what you were saying before, too, about a couple of things that you like about his apology. I personally like that it wasn't a prepared written apology. I like that. I like that it wasn't something that was written, like obviously written by somebody like, here, read these words. No, what he was saying came from his heart and you could feel it. You know, I like that. I believe it was genuine. I do believe that he will be okay. I think he's going to come out of come out okay on the other side of this. I understand why the company has to punish him. Me personally, I think maybe the punishment is a little too harsh. But that's just my personal feelings, just because of the apologies that were made and you know, the fact that he was forgiven by the person he offended. But yeah, just like you and Anthony, just like Boxman and Anthony were saying, I totally get why the company has to take this stance, and they have to kind of make a statement to other people in the future and to a lot of the people right now who are out there or who have been out there doing real things and actually hurting real people. So I do get it.
Right. Smart. You got to have something. Come on. There you go.
Sorry, my voice is just acting up tonight. I don't know why. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because like there's been so many cases just all over the place, everywhere, so many different people, and you know it's obviously being dealt with on a case by case basis. So it's kind of hard to almost even keep up and keep track with everything. I don't think the fact that they didn't outright get rid of him, I think, is a good thing. You know, this kind of thing takes time to air out and to kind of work itself out and to kind of, you know, take the steps for corrective measures. So, yeah, I don't think it was overly excessive. You know, like you made a mistake. When you make a mistake, you got to pay for it. It's just that's fact of life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but you know, kind of like what I was saying earlier about, you know, most of these guys are being accused of way more than just saying something stupid. They're being accused of doing something stupid. Yeah. I mean, listen, when Impact actually gets rid of you, you know shit's getting real.
Yeah. LOL TNA, and I want to pull up the tweet later because somebody went through the trouble, which, by the way, thank you, of listing like their last like 4 or 5 champions, and do just various circumstances of wow, like TNA really knows how to pick a winner, or they can never seem to get that shit together. Like, you know, whether it's the shit with Del Rio, they had to let go while he was champion. Fucking Tessa, they had to, like, literally circumstances. Some people got hurt, some people wanted to leave, but man, you talk about a snake big company.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I mean, now that you're saying that, it should trace back some of the previous people that have held that belt. Makes me feel nervous to be a Pentagon fan. Fucking something's gonna happen. I don't know what it is, but I'm fucking already terrified of it.
I could see Pentagon beating someone's ass, not nothing else, but I could see him maybe getting into a bar scruffle or something.
Like I said, obviously nothing funny about these allegations, but let the record show that Mr. Dick Flip himself was not only released, he was released from TNA or Impact while a part of a group called Cancel Culture. I want people to grasp that irony.
Let's take a second to appreciate that.
Yes, just appreciate that, man. The Dick Flip guy was in a group called Cancel Culture, and now he has legitimately been canceled by TNA of all people. Fantastic.
I just don't know how we're not surprised that the guy that makes people grab his dick is actually being accused of sexual harassment. I don't know where the surprise is at all. I don't. I really don't.
Oh, and if you want to get a chuckle out of this, you know, heinous shit we're talking about, can you imagine the hard-on Jim Cornette had before he sat down and recorded his podcast, knowing he got the fucking rip a whole entire asshole of a David Starr, of a Joey Ryan, people that have fucking raked him over the coals for how many years now? He probably had the biggest hard-on, did a happy dance, fucked Stacy about 4 or 5. Well, watched her get fucked 4 or 5 times.
Watched her, right.
No, he was so excited he fucked his own wife that night.
Fantastic, Smart. That's why you're been a fantastic addition to the show.
Oh, God. I was going to say something, but I completely forgot what it was after that. I might remember. But I know. I was going to say, I got to admit, I honestly did a little happy dance when I saw David Starr's name come up in there with all the allegations. Because I've been saying this guy's a piece of shit scumbag for over a year now. But we got into that last Friday. I guess we don't have to get into that again. But Michael Elgin, who we've talked about a few times, is another guy Impact has released. And, I remember us talking about Elgin. And if I remember, guys, he was trying to force some girl to basically suck his dick and cheating on his wife at the time. Does any of that sound familiar? Am I right about that?
Vaguely. Us, Bob.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Elgin, none of this shit is new with him either, which I don't understand how he was able to go on after. I mean, it's been at least a year, maybe even more. When I remember hearing some stories about him, stories that he told himself about really foul things that he did to women. And I'm like, this dude is on shows, on mic, laughing about the fucked up shit that he was doing. So I don't know how he lasted this long. I mean, I was a Michael Elgin fan in ROH, just because he was in there murdering people. I'm old school. I like wrestlers who went into the ring and murdered people. And that's what he was doing to all those tiny little guys in ROH. But all that went out the window when I heard this dude laughing about how he was trying to force this woman to have sex with him or whatever it was he was trying to force her to do in a room where she was clearly uncomfortable. There were other guys. She was hiding out in the bathroom, and he's laughing about how he fucking pissed on her. I'm like, come on, man. Come the fuck on. He completely lost me at that point. He should have been gone long ago.
I mean, This sounds like something you'd hear from Teddy Hart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying. He has been quiet.
Just saying.
And the fucked up. Well, not the fucked up thing. Not that this is on a low end of priorities, but literally, TNA or Impact, keep calling it Force of Habit. TNA, Impact, same shit. They have a pay-per-view coming up on the 18th, July 18th, Slammiversary, the anniversary show. And literally, this past week, that main event has been picked off because basically because of COVID, they had all of their TV taped. Now they had, they iced Elgin, who's a part of the main event. They iced Joey Ryan. So they're basically having to rewrite TV, basically recycle some content because they put out a statement that basically said Elgin was not only released, his shit will never be shown again. They're giving this dude the Benoit treatment. His shit is on ice. Think about this for a minute. You have got to be a fuck up on another level to be fired by a company that fucking has recorded shows on fucking Josh Matthews' fucking iPhone when it was at 7%. You fucked up on a whole nother level, bro.
A company that sent Jeff Hardy out there so fucked up he could barely fucking see. And yeah, that is fucked up when a company like this fires you. But I mean, they even fired Tessa, which we mentioned before, and everyone's saying, oh, Tessa's going to go to WWE or AEW. No. Not with those allegations. I don't even think Daddy can help her with those allegations. But anyway, go ahead, Anthony.
No, people were saying who's going to grab Tessa first? The AEW or the WWE? My response, the streets.
Yeah. Hopefully Brazzers. Maybe Brazzers will pick her up. Who knows?
She's been putting out some interesting content lately. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's neither here nor there.
Who?
I would say, if anything, once things start getting opened up, like Mexico, that's probably your best bet. Because, I mean, not to be a dick, but they don't really seem to give a fuck.
It's Mexico. I don't know what else to say about that. But
now, I don't know. Let's kind of, I don't know, man. Like, the Tessa thing is like a conundrum. And this is not an anti-woman woman rant here. Tessa's talented in the ring. But once again, this goes back to where Impact was too progressive for their own good. Obviously, they made her the champion to generate a buzz, which it did. But in the process, they basically cut the nuts off of every dude in the company by making her the champion. And now, to make it worse, they don't even get a return on that investment. Mm-hmm. They don't even get any type of return on that shit.
And that was such a big deal in the in the news. I mean, that was hitting ESPN, not just fucking dirt sheets. That was hitting ESPN, dude.
It seemed like it was the one time that they finally got to do something that was just a straight up fucking slam dunk. Mm-hmm. Because like everything, we finally made the right call. This is going to be perfect for us. She said, "What now? What did you say?" Yeah.
And look, and mind you, this shit came out the day before, so they had a day to think about it, and they still ran with it. So TNA, like I said, TNA being TNA. But what do you guys think about the circumstances? Because I guess apparently she was out in Mexico due to the travel ban and all that stuff. So Impact wanted her to pre-record some videos, promos to help promote her title match coming up at the pay-per-view. She refused, and basically that was the last straw for them. It wasn't anything in her personal life, not anything she said. It's because she wouldn't send in promo footage to be inserted into the show.
Ain't it funny that they didn't get rid of her for allegations of throwing the N-word around, but they got rid of her because she wouldn't record some videos?
And bully culture.
Can I touch on something real quick?
Of course.
And I don't mean like that. I know with all of this that we're talking about, my hands, I'm not touching it. But what raised suspicions for me from the beginning was Tessa had an opportunity. She had an in WWE before her career took off the way that it did. And WWE said, pass, no thanks. And to me, that raised a lot of suspicions back then, because I'm like, I mean, it doesn't take a super genius wrestling mind to say they already have Charlotte. Why would they not want Tessa? Like, it just makes sense. That writes itself. But WWE said, nope, not worth it. So at that time, they must have known something that the rest of us didn't,
Either they knew something or they are breathing a breath of fresh air that they made the right decision right now. One of the two.
They knew something, because I think it came out that she got fired for attitude issues.
Yeah.
And like attitude problems, which you can read between the lines on that, which, once again, dude, this is WWE. Vince doesn't leave a dime on the table. Like Bobby just said. Flair, Blanchard, the next generation writes itself. The fact that they said, nah, we'll pass on that. Look, because I guarantee you, that would have been fuck Ronda Rousey for a minute. Tessa, Flair, that would have been your first female WrestleMania main event.
Would have been great. It would have been an amazing match. But I mean, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, we might see her in that company. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on, dude. We even Brock got accused. Did you guys see this story with Terry Runnels?
Yeah, I saw.
Terry Runnels. I honestly, when I read this story, I was thinking, is this Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton? Basically, what she is saying here, I'll just go ahead and read her exact words. She was on during an interview on Key on Sports podcast. I'm getting this, by the way, off of Yahoo Sport. This is not a fucking rag dirt sheet or anything like this. This is not Ringside News. This is Yahoo Sport this is coming off of. She says, and I quote, "I don't have a lot of respect for Brock. I don't think Brock respects wrestling fans," Runnels said. Brock did something that, if it was in today's day and time, he showed his penis to me and called my name as I was walking past where he was in the dressing room and opened his towel so I could see his manly bits. I would have much rather him not be so disrespectful of a female that's been in the business for as long as I have been. I can't deny anything she said there, and I can't disagree with her. But she said she went to WWE about this. She reported this to WWE over 16 years ago, and they did nothing. Not one thing. Nothing.
Once again, so Brock would have probably been like 02, 03, so he still would have been in that rookie phase. But once again, money. You know, he was a star. Like I said, think about it. I mean, even though the relationship was fractured at the time that Steve Austin and Deborah were having their marital issues, he still was a moneymaker for that company. And if you notice, they talked about that shit. It was in the news for a little bit, but then it slowly went away. And next thing you know, Deborah went from being on TV on a regular basis to all of a sudden, bye, bitch. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, here's a cease and desist. Don't talk about this shit publicly no more.
Yeah.
And up until like literally the Benoit thing happened, that's the first time on record that you heard her talking about the shit.
Yeah. And listen, I'm sure gag orders are readily available in WWE. Shut up about this, shut up about that. I mean, we're hearing right now that they can't even, we'll get into that story in a few minutes, but I mean, they can't even mention that they have COVID publicly. They can't do it. Can't do it.
Smart, I hear you over there because I know you was offended by a few things this week in wrestling.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
We'll get into it. I will forever in a day just be amazed at the audacity of them telling fucking Deborah that not mention the fact that she got beat up by her husband. Like, and all this shit's coming out now, all these allegations. Guess who's on SmackDown tonight? Fucking Stone Cold. Like, you guys, and you know, I've heard from a reliable source that it might not have been the first time. And it's a fucking amazing, the fucking audacity of these people.
This company, listen, you got to realize how out of touch WWE is. First of all, they do that. They don't mind doing that. And then they're calling this Extreme Rules the horror show. The horror show is what we're seeing on the fucking news every night, dude. Come on, Vince. Whoever came up with this, they need to take out back, beat the hell out of, and fire.
No, and honestly, and I'll just say this, man. Like, part of the problem is there's no accountability. I mean, wrestling has flown under the radar for so long and gotten away with so much scumbag behavior because the people that matter look at it as a joke. They don't take. I mean, think about it. The closest we have come in this world to seeing wrestling get government oversight is with the Benoit thing. And even that went away. We've seen people fall from the ceilings to their death. We've seen literal murder. We're hearing stories of, think about it, in any other business, these type of allegations will be enough to shut a business down. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously, you take a 6 months worth of wrestling stories that we did from any given year, that would be enough to shut down your average company. But yet all this stuff flies under the radar because it's just that phony fake shit. Like, there has to be some semblance of accountability. There has to be checks and balances from somebody outside of the wrestling business. There needs to be that big brother. There has to be government oversight because that's the only way these motherfuckers are going to clean up their act. You can't trust wrestling to police itself. An HR department in pro wrestling is a fucking joke. I'm sorry. It's a fucking joke.
Well, yeah, because there's probably some WWE employee that's been there for 900 years that's the HR guy and knows how to toe that fucking line and is like, well, I got a better idea than going public with this. I got a better idea.
I'm hearing like they're taking these allegations very seriously. Okay, they fired some people, but look at the people they're letting go. It's real easy to let go of an Enzo, to let go of a Gallagher, but you can trust and believe with this speaking out shit. If it came to like an Orton, who maybe not sexual harassment, but he has a checkered past of fucking with harassing women in terms of shitting in their bags and fucking with them till they cried, and Randy Orton hurt my feelings, like real psychological type shit. Think about. I don't know if you guys heard, but Kurt Angle's name has been brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And I happen to be Facebook friends with the chick. You guys remember Raka Khan from TNA?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, obviously that was during the loss years for Perk Angle. She's releasing old photos, and I was threatened by a lot of high-ranking officials that, people didn't want to believe me because it was Kurt Angle. He was their favorite wrestler, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm speaking out. And literally, she's putting out a lot of salacious shit. But once again, this is stuff that'll be swept under the rug because that's how wrestling works. And look, Kurt, great wrestler, but I'm a firm believer in everybody should be called out on their shit. I don't give a fuck how well you wrestled. If you're out here doing criminal behavior, committing criminal acts, everybody should be held accountable.
Right. And they also, WWE did get rid of Travis Banks and El Ligero today also. I believe they're both
Jack Gallagher as well.
Well, Jack Gallagher was last week, but this was today. I believe they're both UK guys. And yeah, I mean, and they're getting rid of people really quietly, especially over in the UK, because I'm sure it's easier to get rid of them over there and not have it be public. But again, this hit ESPN. I'm looking at this on ESPN.com. So WWE, you can sit there and say, even bad press is good. No, none of this is good right now. None of this is good. All these allegations you got the fact that people are literally, an anonymous source came out and is saying that you guys handled COVID so fucking bad. You're not letting anyone talk about it. You just started testing people. What the fuck? Just now? I think you're a little late. I don't know if you realize that. But, I mean, they've just started testing people a week ago when literally, and now they've got, let's see, who said Jamie Noble was one of them that said they had it. Caleb Braxton, second time getting COVID, second time. My God, man, this company, for $1 billion company, they're looking like some fucking rinky-dink $10 fucking company right now, in my opinion.
I wouldn't even say that as much as I would just say that it's because they're a $1 billion company that they feel like they're allowed to make the rules. They're allowed to be as selective and as stubborn as humanly possible. And I mean, what's really happened to them because of this? Like, you got a couple of people coming out here and saying some words, waving the finger, shame, shame, tisk, tisk. Nobody's really talking about it like on a big, wide scale level.
No. But, I mean, and like I said, this anonymous source is saying that basically they are forbidden to tell anyone else, nor can we come out publicly to make any statements. It was stressed that WWE will take care of any medical treatments should we need them. Mm-hmm. In the same breath, it was made clear the company would handle PR, and only those that needed to know about our condition would know, as HIPAA laws would prevent them from making our names public. Okay, I get that. Yeah, HIPAA laws would make that, but then again, you're a public company. I'm not sure HIPAA really covers that, to be honest with you.
Oh, and can I have to read this statement. Because you know how WWE puts out these press releases, people are responsible for their own actions and all that. They've added a wrinkle, so you guys got to bear with me, but this is good shit. Individuals, quote, are responsible for their own personal actions. WWE has zero tolerance for matters involving domestic violence, child abuse, and sexual assault. Upon arrest for such misconduct, a WWE talent will be immediately suspended. Upon conviction for such misconduct, a WWE talent will be immediately terminated. This is the kicker. WWE's ability to fine, suspend, or terminate a WWE talent will not be, however, limited or compromised in any manner in the event incontrovertible evidence of such illegal misconduct is presented to WWE. So basically, in layman's terms, is look at the Enzo situation. The conviction, just being accused is enough. So, Boxman, if you work for WWE and some chick accuses you of some shit, they don't have to wait for the law to press charges. They don't have to wait for you to be convicted of anything. They can just say, see you, bye, get the fuck out.
So guilty until proven innocent. I mean, that's not the way it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be the opposite, innocent until proven guilty. I mean, but, that's the world we live in right now. An accusation. Listen, when the Me Too movement happened, how many people got fucking literally ripped a new asshole. Bad choice of words. I'm sorry. For just accusations, some of them turned out to be completely false. Yet they were already fired from their job. They lost work. Some of them can't get work now. I mean, accusations have to be just that. Accusations. You want to suspend someone until this shit is worked out and ironed out, and you find out what happened. Great. That's what you should do. Get rid of. Don't fire him yet. Wait. If it's fucking false, like I got to tell you, like Dream. Everyone's saying Dream's about. He's almost done. But I got to tell you something. Out of all the allegations, his smell more like bullshit than anyone else. So I don't think they should get rid of him. You want to get rid of him for a while? You want to write him off TV for a good month while this shit cools down and you find out what happened? Fine. No problem with that. Do not crucify the man. Do not fire him and literally probably ruin his life and his career if you do for allegations that really don't fucking pass a smell test anywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like the Enzo thing all over again. And this is how you know they just had a hard on for getting rid of that guy, because part of why he was let go was because apparently he didn't tell the company that about the allegations that he was being charged. But if you remember how that shit all came out on the internet, he basically found out the same time as the rest of the world. So he found out the same time that we found out, the same time us marks found out when it hit the internet. So that was a case of that was their smoking gun. That was their smoking gun. That was their reason to let him go. Cut bait.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was gonna say. They wanted to get rid of him anyway. So, they jumped on any reason that they could have gotten. This was just they saw this as just a perfect one. So I don't know if Enzo is a good example to use. Comparing to how some other allegations might be taken and acted upon, just because nobody liked him. They didn't nobody in the company liked him. They wanted to get rid of him. So they just took that opportunity.
Yeah, listen, I said when this all happened, they were looking for an excuse. They saw one. They used their morality clause as a way to get rid of him, which I'm from what I'm hearing, there isn't much morality in wrestling right now at all. So they used it. They were looking to get rid. We had heard so many times that he was getting, a fucking a swelled head. He was really just acting like an asshole in the back, and they were looking for an excuse. They saw an out and they took it. And you know what? I still say he should have sued the living shit out of that company for wrongful fucking termination. I still say it to this day. And you know what? You never know. Maybe he's got a gag order on him. Like I said, they're probably they're probably in a vending machine at WWE.
Yeah. But I only brought that up not to so much use him as an example, but to kind of speak to Vox's point. Like they literally fucked this guy's life up for a nice little minute there. Mm-hmm. Because if you remember, everybody piled on. And look, if you don't want to like him for his wrestling, his attitude, that's one thing. But when you have those type of allegations, being accused of rape and all that shit hanging over your head, that's a totally different ballgame. And I don't care what you think of the guy's wrestling ability, what you think of him as a person. If he genuinely didn't do anything as heinous as rape, which it was proven that he didn't, he shouldn't have to carry that weight on his shoulders. Nobody that's sincerely innocent shouldn't have to walk around like that. And the way WWE handled it painted the impression to the people that don't pay attention to shit that, oh, this guy was a fucking ass, he's a rapist. And I feel like that was the wrong move to make. That's the only reason why I feel like that company, at least in that respect, owed him more than what they gave him.
Yeah, and I mean Bobby's right. That's not the best thing to use because you're right. They were looking to get rid of him, but I mean, there's just so much going on right now. Go ahead, Smart.
It was a different charge, but they kind of did Swan that way too.
Mm-hmm. But Swan shit was proven.
Didn't it get dropped though?
She dropped it, but I mean, I'm not saying anything, but battered women regularly drop their cases against their spouses.
There's got to be several other cases.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of something that always happens. I mean, that's how it goes. But, and again, I don't know really that Rich Swann thing. I mean, we called him Dick Swan for a lot of shows. But I really don't know. That was, she says it didn't happen, but the cop says it does. It did. And so much.
And I think cops. It was people independent that had no reason to lie on this.
That's right.
That said they said it was a violent altercation. Pulled out the car. Yeah, and like you said, battered women syndrome. But I don't think she might have dropped the charges, but I don't think the state did. That's the difference.
Yeah, but usually when she dropped, what happens with that? State can press charges. But when they don't have a witness and they don't have charges, if the wife doesn't stick with filing charges, it's very hard to prove it just by the state, and then it becomes he said, she said, like that story is anyway. So if you take a he said, she said, and the wife decides she's not going to cooperate, you got shit. You got nothing. You're done. You might as well fucking just, that's it. It's over. You know, if she won't testify, who's going to fucking prove it? What, those two witnesses? Who are they? You know, it's just not that easy to do. But speaking of scumbag behavior, just to lighten up the story a little bit, guys, then we'll get back into some more stuff. Anyone remember Armando Alejandro Montalvo? Piss shit milk guy, everybody. And this is the man that left me. I can't wait till my birthday. I'm hoping to get another message from him. But he once again was, according to Wrestling Inc., he was once again arrested for trespassing on the WWE Performance Center property with a knife again. I don't understand why this. I mean, I guess the only explanation is he's nuts. But once again, this guy's back in trouble. And I mean, literally, 2 weeks ago, we played a video of him getting arrested outside of a Walmart. Man, if anyone needs to be put into a hospital for a while, I think it's this guy.
Do you not appreciate the irony, though, that he's seemingly the only person that can defeat their lawyers? I don't know how the fuck it keeps happening, but it keeps happening.
And he represents himself, which is the scariest part in the world.
He has a full-time staff of Guardian Angels watching his back, man. This dude has been shot. He's been fucking shot.
In the head.
But
he was shot in the head, Bobby.
Yo.
He took a headshot. He took a headshot.
Damn.
And lived. And still is going back there. I would not listen. I don't care. I would not go back there. I would stay away. I would stay far, far away. But I guess I am a sane person. I am more sane. I'm not going to say I'm completely sane, but I'm more sane than I guess this guy is, and I would stay the hell away from there, man.
Guys, you took Tupac and Biggie away from me, but yet piss shit milk guys allowed to walk the face of the earth. Where did we go wrong? Please.
Because it's
somebody help me understand.
It's the great ones, Anthony, that go. It's the great ones. You know, the Tupac, the Biggie, Elvis, goddammit.
Yeah, Bob, I want you to know I'm gonna be like Jadakiss on a loop for the next half hour, 45 minutes, asking why.
Easily my favorite reference that's ever been made on this show, and I would just like to shake your hand.
Yes. Hey, not a lot of people talk about Jadakiss. He deserves more love, more props.
Yeah, underrated. But I'll tell you what though about piss shit milk guy. Have there ever been any sexual allegations made against him? Because if not, at the end of the day, they might end up having to give him a contract because he's looking like the only one.
I don't think so, but I mean, listen, the guy's obviously tough. He took a bullet to the head and kept going.
Right.
I mean,
Can't tell me Vince doesn't like the cut of his jib.
You know, I mean, the guy stands outside of WWE, and you know what? He's been standing like on the sidewalk. He's been caught doing that a few times on the sidewalk, and he's like, "Yeah, tell Triple H I'm here, man. Tell him to give me that match. I want that match."
Dude, honestly, in an alternate universe, you know who piss shit milk guy is to me? Just because of the grapefruits, the gigantic balls on this guy, because clearly he has them. Remember, I can't remember the match. It might have been a pay-per-view. Remember, and Antox can probably help me out as soon as I break down this quick story. Remember the dude that ran up in the Shield match? The bald-headed dude?
Yeah.
He stood next to Reigns, and they just stopped. Because he was looking crazy. He had on his Shield gear, and everybody in the ring just stopped and stared at him like, dude, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like,
and he did the Roman Reigns.
Yeah. They thought it was funny. They just like, what's funny Roman Reigns right now?
Roman Reigns literally looked at the camera like, who the fuck is this guy? Okay, and then he got taken down quickly. Oh God, you gotta love some wrestling fans, bro. You really do. I mean, this is the shit that we fucking deal with, and I mean, you know, we're fans in a different way. Obviously, this is how this is our way of fucking being a fan, and then you got the other guys who will jump the fucking guardrail. I mean,
yeah, I know what side of the guardrail I belong on.
Yeah. Shit, I belong at home. Fuck the guardrail. I can't do nothing from here. I was glad I was here when Bret Hart was attacked, though. I was glad I was home. I was here. I got proof.
Your alibi.
I got an alibi, exactly.
Yeah, I want you to know, Box. I had my fingers on the 911 button when I saw it. I look like shit. I fucking Tarantino the shit out of that footage. I paused the hell out of it. Like the one and only time, I think it was Dash Wilder that popped him. That's probably that's gonna go down in his biggest career highlight. I guarantee you. Mm-hmm. If you don't remember shit else about Dash Wilder, you'll remember him as the dude that popped the Bret Hart attacker.
Oh, I think now he's Dax Hardwood or something like that, some porn star name.
Fox, I know what I want to ask you. You're the Floridian. You're the native Florida guy. With the Jimmy Havoc situation, he's doing rehab. Is that a loophole he kind of worked around? Like in the state of Florida, if you say you're going to rehab, you can't get fired, at least right away?
I'm not 100% with that. I don't know. I don't know what Florida is. I believe that is one thing. I mean, that's kind of how Randy Orton's gotten away with it a few times, let's be honest with you. But I don't know if that's an actual, like, law or anything, but it could be. I don't know. I mean, do you think AEW is just going to let him do the stint and then tell him bye-bye?
I guess it goes down to, like I said, because right now, a lot of these are accusations, haven't been proven, even though some people have incriminated themselves to a shocking degree. But I feel like you almost have to. Because, he's kind of, if you read some of the statements that have been put out, he haven't necessarily explicitly admitted to anything, but anytime you start off your statement with, I've been a shitty person in my life and I've done some things I'm not proud of, considering what you've been charged of, if your first statement is, I didn't do this shit, you kind of look guilty to me. I'm sorry. Like, if your first statement isn't, I did not do this shit, this bitch is lying, you kind of look guilty.
Yeah.
Some of these statements these dudes is putting out, man, not a good look.
No, but didn't Havoc just cop to it and say, I fucked up, I've got a drug and alcohol problem, and go in? I mean, honestly, mostly who uses that is celebrities. That's kind of a celebrity thing. They go to rehab and then they come out and everyone praises them for going to rehab. Meanwhile they were at fucking Club Med and no one really knows it.
Look at Antox coming through like a champ.
Yeah, I would play that video, but it's more visual. Mm-hmm. Let me see it. Let me try. I got no volume here. I can pop it on here while I'm sitting here, but I don't know, man. I'll tell you, they should get rid of Jimmy Havoc. They should. If he's admitting to doing what he did, which both of them do not sound fucking good, they probably should get rid of him. They probably should, even after he does this. But I got a feeling that they might keep him around a little longer just to show how good of a company they are and progressive they are. They may actually keep him.
Nah, it's just certain things, man, that, when I'm kind of getting older, and I'm looking at things a little differently, it's certain things that you as a company, if you want to have credibility, certain things is better off just, you got to cut bait. And I know it's easier to cut bait with a Jimmy Havoc versus Steve Austin, but as we evolve as a society, you kind of have to look, but you can't kind of rely on that's the way business used to be done. And we're making money off, we make so much money off. At some point, you have to put morals before profit. Mm-hmm. At some point.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching this video. It's probably not worth playing. It looks like it was a recording of a recording of a recording of a recording.
So basically, so basically the 90s.
It looks like someone recorded it on their phone and then gave it to someone who recorded it on their phone. And then someone recorded it on their phone, and then someone recorded it on a fucking video recorder.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll just go ahead. But yeah, thank you, Antox. Thanks for doing that.
And you youngsters with your fucking streaming services and Fire Sticks will never understand the struggle that we went through in the mid '90s with bootleg videotapes.
Exactly. I will say, that we can't really do it because it's a visual thing, but I'm looking at the Twitter GIF that he posted alongside of it, and I've watched it about 10 times now, and I just love watching Ambrose just like look behind him, see the guy get tackled, and then follow his trajectory to the ground.
Yeah.
he does not look like he gives a fuck at all.
I don't think he did. I don't think he cared one bit. I think he was like, "That's fucking awesome. I'm going home and drink some whiskey."
I remember, it was recently too, if I'm not mistaken. Ambrose did some type of interview where he said, "I love my fans and all that kind of good stuff. Come to the shows, have a good time. Don't run up on me. Don't. Yeah. It won't end well for you." Like, and he said he kind of chuckled a little bit, but he said no. He basically made it clear that he doesn't play those games.
Yeah, and it's funny watching that video because they were in the ring with the Wyatt family, and you got Luke Harper in there, and hey, I think we actually forgot to mention this last week, but Bray came back as the old Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And
the three faces of Bray,
yeah, there you go. We got the three faces of Bray now, and he came back as that Bray Wyatt, so. A lot of little, look at that. We just did a little circle there. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Now that Anthony says it's like, I'm looking at this GIF again.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It gets funnier and funnier.
By themselves can fuck me up easily. Like, I wouldn't even know, like, if I had to punch one of them in the face and just try my best. I don't even know who I would go after.
And I love how Bray was like, is that your guy? Is that your guy? Bray went with it. I love that Bray went with that shit, man. Is that your third man? Is that him right there?
Mox, I swear, Moxie looks like the coolest motherfucker in the ring right now. He's just like...
Down you go. All right, back to work.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, thanks, Antox. Really appreciate you doing that work for us. Man,
that's what I was talking about, man. The value of the people that we have on our team, man. Antox is invaluable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Glad we got Antox around and everyone in the chat. We got Christopher Kane in the chat. We got D Large. We got fucking Dean Yates, C-Matt. We got good people in our chat, man. All right, let's see what else we got here. I think we're actually, believe it or not, we were almost done with the sexual allegations. God damn it. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was just saying, at this point, and I know it's not like picking your favorite kid, but has anybody accused any of the news that came out this week thus far? Anything stick out to you as like shocking? Anything surprise you at this point? I mean, at this point, I'm really kind of numb to it, but has anything surprised you? Like, oh my God, I didn't see that one coming.
No. Nothing surprises me about the wrestling business anymore. After the last 2 weeks and this week now, no. Nothing, I don't think anything can shock me. The only thing that would shock me is if I found out one of them were literally like actual pedophiles, but Right now, no. None of this is shocking. None of the fact that wrestling has scumbags in it is shocking to me. It's been a carny business since day one. It's still a fucking carny business. It is one of the last carny businesses, besides actual carnivals, that are that. I mean, I mean, the circus is gone. We have this and carnivals left, and fairs. Don't forget fairs. State fairs. You know what I'm talking about. That's it. There's nothing else left besides those three fucking businesses that are this scummy. And no, unfortunately, no. I don't know if I'm desensitized at this point, but no, nothing surprises me anymore in wrestling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I guess it's one of those things where obviously we live in a time where WWE, they had to take these allegations seriously, which they should. But on the one hand, you kind of got to wonder, how serious can it really be if you have all these allegations coming out about heinous accusations? Everything from pedophilia to rape to, coercion, a lot of shit going on right now. But still have certain people under your employ just because of legacy, just because of this, that, and the third. But yet you're going to fire, like I said, by all means, fire the scumbags. But how can you fire somebody for fucking with kids when you still have Lawler on payroll? How can you look at me? Like, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. This is the hypocrisy of pro wrestling. You still have certain people on payroll, but yet you're going to cut bait because there's really no connection there. Nobody will notice Jack fucking Gallagher. Nobody will, Tyler Bateman, whoever. They won't notice these people. But if we get rid of Lawler, he still holds some value to us. So we're going to keep him. Shawn Michaels, he's been accused of some fucked up shit, but he's born again. He's still valuable. We need him on the panel for our pre-shows and shit. So we'll keep it. You know what I mean? It's like, it just seems, that's like a hypocrisy right there. I really can't, it's hard for me to take some of these things, see the actions that they're taking seriously, because it depends on who you are at the end of the day, the action they take.
Yeah, Bobby, you were going to say, go ahead.
I was pretty much just agreeing. I mean, this is a company that they do what they want to do, man. They throw their weight around, and they believe that they can write their own history. They believe that they can tell us that the sky is not blue. If they don't want us to think that the sky is blue, we wake up in the morning like, oh man, look at that blue sky. No, it isn't. That sky is orange, pal. And we just have to fucking accept that it's orange. Like we just have to accept that shit. That's kind of how they approach everything. They want to tell the story that they want to tell. This is the same fucking company that refuses to test people who we fucking know are on steroids because it just doesn't benefit them. Like they can get rid of fucking what's his name, Hornswoggle for violating the fucking wellness policy. But Brock fucking Lesnar, come on, man, look at the fucking guy. And I mean, not even just look at him. He was. I mean, it's proven he was on shit. But they're like, oh no, not here. I mean, he's part time. We don't test our part timers.
Right.
They do what they want to do and tell the stories that they want to tell.
I'm glad you just brought that up, Bobby, because that is you want to talk about hypocritical. That is one of the most hypocritical things I've ever seen. UFC proves this guy was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. They proved it. They tested him. They proved it. Oh, well, we don't test our part-time guys. Oh, well, why doesn't everyone just be part-time and fucking load up on fucking roids then?
Right.
I'm glad we're having this discussion because, and I'm actually going to go out of my way at some point this weekend to watch this episode of Raw to see if they've edited in any type of way. But remember when they started the wellness policy following the Eddie Guerrero thing, and then slowly you saw a lot of people disappear for a little while? Well, one of those gentlemen that disappeared was one Chris Masters. Now, if anybody that remembers Chris Masters, when he debuted on the scene, I had a hard time believing that he was like 22, 21, 22 at the time, because this dude was fucking gigantic. This dude was fucking gigantic. So, long story short, I think he developed a bit of a drug problem. He was hooked on some things, clearly, enhancements, but he came back small. He was still in shape, but he was noticeably smaller. and they did a
Very
segment
much
on
so.
they did a segment on Raw where Triple H specifically ripped this dude a new asshole. Now you basically suspend this guy and tell him, hey, look, you need to get off whatever you're on, pal, and then you put him on TV with the express intent after you knew this guy had to fucking get off the shit, and you mock him for it. Yeah. Like that's the type of shit that I'm talking about, man. That's a cold-blooded thing to do, man.
Man, that clip used to be on here. Where is that?
What clip is that? I
knew you were going to mention that Triple H Chris Matt, and I played it a long time ago on the THT, but I'm looking for it. I'm sure Antox would probably find it before I could. But that used to be on YouTube. WWE probably had it fucking taken down. But
yeah, because I guess in hindsight, it didn't age well.
No, but there's always Daily Motion, which I might have to look on. But yeah, man, it was that was pretty shitty of Triple H to do, and he called him out right there. Basically, he's like, did he call him? I think he said he was a balloon or something. Like you shrunk like a pop balloon or something like that.
Like, man, you like, yeah, it was something shit like, man, you really shrunk since the last time I saw you.
Something like that.
And literally, he just had to stand there like an idiot and take it.
And he was gone soon after.
Yeah, and it's like he's talked about an interview since where he said that was one of the things that kind of like mentally fucked with him. Because like I'm just doing what you guys told me to do. Like, you guys know I had a problem with certain things. I came back trying to be, come out better man on the other side of things. And you mock me for it on TV after I was just doing what the fucking job required me to do. I mean, once again, man, fucking trash bag company, man. Jesus.
And that's why I will forever respect what Paul London did. In that segment, right before Vince gets into the exploding limo, and you just see Paul London just with a giant fucking smile on his face, as though he could not, even for the amount of money they're paying him, pretend like this isn't fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And the best part about that is he just said fuck it, because Paul London was getting him and Kendrick were getting a pretty solid push up until that point. Mm-hmm. And then after that, his whatever push he got was like out the window. He got buried until he eventually got a fire release. Mm-hmm. I forgot which one it was, but man, that man went out a fucking legend. That segment will live on forever. Because whenever they show that clip, they kind of edit around it, but you can still find it unedited if you want to. That's the funniest shit ever. Everybody else is trying to sell it, like, and he's giving no fucks, like, on camera. Mm.
Oh, the worst part about that is you could see Vince get out of. You could see his feet on the other side by the way the camera angle was. Obviously, they've gotten better with camera angles, but you could see his feet get out and run. So that was great shit, man. God, that was a great little time. And then the Benoit thing happened, and that whole storyline went to shit.
Well, that was a doomed angle from the get-go, because if you remember, a lot of we that talk about anniversaries, we just came up on that anniversary. Ugh. But a lot of fucked up shit happened around that Vince dies angle. For one, I try not to be politically, PC, but if you look at that whole angle, it was just in bad taste all around, because they literally made a mockery of something that they do when somebody passes away. You got people that I remember specifically that week on SmackDown. They had people, they did the 10 bell salute, people on there, fake crying. I'm like, and as a fan, I kind of took offense to that, because I cried real tears when they did this for Owen.
Yeah, it devalues the real tribute. Sorry to cut you off. That's exactly what it does.
Yeah. They did it when they did it for Pillman, when they did it for Eddie. These were real moments. That was genuine emotion. And to just kind of use it as storyline fodder and play on people's emotions like that, to me, is incredibly poor taste. The fact that Sherry Martel died in the midst of this angle, and then the Benoit thing, they really had to stop it. But to me, not to say that the fucking Benoit thing should have took that, but that was a sign, in my opinion, from a force and a power greater than any of us, certainly greater than Vince, that was a fucking bad idea. That was a cursed angle from the time it was conceived.
Yeah, and the fucking stock market plunged, if you remember, after that angle. So I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what happened, that angle was not going to last long because the stock market tanked the next day. I mean, tanked. I remember that. And I mean, I'm not a stock market guy. I know zero about stocks and shit like that. But I do remember the story that was not a good time for Vince because that stock market tanked and then that shit went down. And I mean,
you had people. This is 2007, and mind you, the fucking lid was off. The genie was out of the bottle by 2007. But you still had people like dropping shit off to the Titan Tower. You had people that genuinely thought this man died, and I'm like, man, look, that was a little goofy. But it was still, like I said, once again, poor taste.
It's still real to me, damn it. Oh,
these are stockholders. Like, these are actual fucking adults that have a financial stake in this, and they don't get it. Like, that's the amazing part.
Well, have you ever listened to one of those conference calls, Smart?
No, and I have to at some point because it is probably the most unintentionally hilarious shit I could ever come across.
It is unintentionally entertaining. People are like, "Yeah, so how come you don't have an off season for your guys?" And oh, by the way, why isn't Chris Masters getting a big push?
Right. When are you bringing back the Slammies?
Yeah.
Like, these are legit fucking questions on these fucking calls, man.
They're ridiculous.
Beat the Rock yet?
It's the questions are absolutely ridiculous. And Antox, of course, scrolled through and found it, and he says it's on the network. You mean they didn't cut that out? That's the sad part. Give me a sec. My network is loading. It's loading. I have to sign in because I've never signed in on this computer, so give me a minute. Guys, talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see here. Has your enjoyment of I kind of know where Bobby stands on it, but Smart, has your enjoyment of wrestling been kind of like sucked out of you a little bit with this latest round of allegations, or can you still enjoy the product for what it is?
You know, and I've been kind of wanting to talk about this ever since I figured out that it had happened. But one of the ones that like sticks out to me is the whole Chikara situation. Now, I realize that I am in the minority here, that pretty much everyone that kind of traffics in the circle that we belong to, not fans. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the fact that they're trying to actually do something different. It might get over the top fucking ridiculous sometimes, but hey, whatever, it is what it is. It's par for the course. And I actually, I attended one of their shows. It was one of the first shows that Oscar was at in the United States, so that was cool. I got to see, all these people that would become much bigger things down the road. And like, I don't know, I've always appreciated the company. I've always enjoyed the company. I haven't really watched the last like year or two because there's been a lot of just weirdness going on with the product as a whole. And then, I've always been a fan of Mike Quackenbush, and I like the way that he thinks. I like how important wrestling seems to be to him, and like how he likes to examine, because he has all kinds of YouTube shows, podcasts where he talks about like an extreme amount of nuance to why it is that he does everything that he does, because he's a trainer, and he's trained a lot of people and a lot of really good wrestlers. The Wrestle Factory over there is a highly esteemed, factory, no pun intended, I guess, that just ushers out these like top grade phenomenal wrestlers, and it's very interesting. I was kind of aware there had been some like rumors and allegations of him like dating students in the past and just some general fuckery, but even what's been coming out right now, I could stand corrected, but I think it's more of just unprofessionalism and not even straight up like predatory attacks, like no actual rapings, molestations, just kind of him not acting as somebody who is in charge of a company or in charge of a wrestling school should conduct themselves. So it was really interesting to see, that kind of come out, and it was interesting to see the fact that the whole fucking territory, the whole promotion is done.
So in all honesty, I've not seen the allegations against Quackenbush. Now, from what I'm gathering, this sounds like he just was more inappropriate as a boss, but didn't actually do anything wrong. Is that kind of where am I right in saying that?
Basically, DJ High with abs.
Oh.
I don't know if that's fair.
I've been a smart ass. That's all.
All right. By the way,
I get you. Yeah, it just seemed like it was more of maybe an abuse of power than necessarily being an overly perverted.
Now, are students coming out and saying anything about him, or is he just kind of copping to it and being like, "Yeah, I kind of fucked up"? I have not heard. I honestly, I apologize. I didn't read the art. Did you post an article about that, or did you just tell us? I don't remember. But I didn't see it. So, what? I mean, are students coming out and saying something about it, or is he just kind of copping to it?
From what I remember, he's kind of like getting ahead of things, because it kind of reads like he kind of knows something's going to come out, so he's trying to get ahead of it a little bit.
And how old are these students? Is my next question. Anyone know? Are they?
Oh no, they're adults.
Okay. Well then,
yeah. But even to me, age, to steal an Aaliyah phrase or an R. Kellyism, age may not be nothing but a number, but it still doesn't. What? It still shouldn't take away from the shitty scumbag behavior, because whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, you're still dealing with people that are entrusting you to teach them theoretically something that they're a fan of. Cheers. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of like taking advantage of that. You're taking advantage of your position of authority over them. They're trying to seek knowledge from you, and you're kind of, like I said, taking advantage of, for lack of a better term, their fandom, their markdom.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get that shot down.
Can I just say real quick, have we not already hit our shitty scumbag quota without you referencing R. Kelly? You just had to put it like has our cup not runneth over with shitty scumbags already?
Ooh, cup runneth over isn't a good one either, Bobby. Okay.
But hey, you gotta admit though, with some of these allegations, he kind of, R. Kelly's the perfect tie-in. Unfortunately,
there's video of his, but Antox, of course, did find that video. I do have it pulled up of the Chris Masters and Triple H. It's on the WWE Network, guys. Let's do it.
WCW. I was just wondering. I have so many questions about that. Hey guys, what are y'all doing? Available October everywhere. It's also available on WWEshop.com. Hey, are we in it? Did you say anything about us?
Well, the truth is, I did. Yeah, you're in the book.
Cool. You made it again?
I talked about the fact that, quite honestly, in my opinion, DX was nothing more than a blatant ripoff of the NWO.
Blasphemy!
And we just gave you a plug for your book, and that's how you. You know what though? I want to thank both of you for that, and you too, Chris. Thanks.
Can you believe that guy? So, when are you going to write a book? That's funny. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about writing a book on nutrition.
Really? What are you going to call it? How to Lose 50 Pounds in 4 weeks? What the?
And people wonder why why don't some people like Triple H? That was shitty, dude. I'm sorry. That was shitty. And Chris Masters.
And honestly, would you have blamed him for? Would anybody have held it against Chris Masters if he just at that moment said, you know what, fuck the job. I'm going out on live TV. I'm going out with a bang. Fuck it, we square up with me, motherfucker. Square up.
Some dudes might have just punched him in the fucking face and been like, you know what? Let's.
Is that what the consequences afterwards?
Yeah, and you know what? You never know. That might have got him a push. Who knows? It's WWE, so that might have got him a push. But yeah, I forgot how, and again, there wasn't a balloon reference in there, but yeah, how to lose 50 pounds in 4 weeks.
And he just, and that poor bastard basically just had to stay in there like an idiot and take it. He didn't even get a comeback in. He just had to take it.
He walked away. He just turned around and walked away like a fucking hurt child.
Jesus.
And then he beefed back up after that, if you remember. He did put all of that back on.
Yes,
which once again, it sends mixed signals. Like, yeah, we have to suspend you, but that doesn't mean we want you to lose. Why we lose the reason we hired you? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? I mean, he might not have gone to Club Med for fucking rehab and had a gym to work out in and shit like that. I don't know what rehab they send these guys to. I have no clue. I know they're expensive, which means they may have all that there, but who the fuck would want to work out in rehab? You're fucking one of the most depressing times of your life, probably.
And I don't know how well known this is amongst you guys, but another piece of shit has been revealed online. You guys remember Bull James?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bull Buchanan?
No, Bull James. Think of the think of the dude now on NXT. The thick dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, similar build. That guy. So apparently, he's a stalker, and he has he has a lot of fucked up issues with women too. Because apparently, he was stalking the face fuck me Finn chick, Alicia Rose.
Oh my god! And oh my god! Like she's hard to stalk. That was. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I mean, she's been like very vocal about it on her social media, different things like that. And once again, I don't care what type of image you put out there in terms of your persona and all that. You still don't deserve to be stalked, raped, anything like that.
No. And Felicia Rose, for those who don't know, is the "fuck my face" Finn girl that had the sign. Yes, that's her. But yeah, that's strange, man. That I mean,
and went to court over this, and like literally, I guess she basically was not having a meltdown, but she was basically traumatized because they went to court, right? Mm-hmm. She had all of this evidence, text messages, like 18 pages worth. But yet this dude still walked. The court, the judge, they didn't even want to see none of her evidence. They basically took like a 2-minute statement from him. Case closed. He's still walking, and she basically been living in fear.
Yeah, this is where I think our judicial system is so fucking fucked up. I mean, a fucking high-paid defense lawyer can spin shit any way they want, truth or not. I mean, most defense lawyers will tell you, listen, my uncle is a defense lawyer, and he'll tell you the truth and a court trial mean absolutely nothing together. They are nothing. You don't tell the truth, you make the truth. And he said it too. I've heard him say this. You make the truth. You don't fucking tell it. You make it. You make the truth and pray that the fucking jury or the court or the judge believe it. So,
I mean, in a way, it's basically a game. It's basically a sport. Right? That's why, the defense. Just, it becomes a matter of sometimes you have to just kind of believe what you want to believe or believe what you think is the truth in your form and fashion of justice, because it's like the verdict isn't always the truth.
No. And
no, you're right. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I actually did fine because like I said, this is a big deal. Like we're talking about some serious shit, so I wanted to add some context to what I was saying because, like I said, never put out information without facts to back up what you're saying. So this is from Felicia Rose. This is from her personal Facebook page. She's putting out screenshots. How do people with these? Once again, be careful what you put out there, folks. So let me see. Let me see. Bull James messaged me offering me a booking. This is a female friend of her, mutual friend basically. Bull James messaged me offering me a booking. I had never spoke to him before that, but he had commented on some of my Insta posts. Nothing really too weird, but I don't know how he had found me since I hadn't been wrestling long at the time. Later on, I was told he found me after I used the hashtag and thought I was hot, so he decided to offer me a booking to talk me to talk to me, although I live in another state and I am 17. Jesus Christ. I told him how old I am, and it's in my Insta/Facebook info. He started messaging me a lot. At first, just complimenting me on videos I posted of my matches and training. But that led to him telling me how attracted he was to me and giving me pointers on how to get men to like me so I could get bookings. Oh, Jesus Christ. This gets better by the word, folks. He made suggestions on first my gear, then how I dress the rest of the time. I'm still confused about how it happened, but he started taking control of my life. I liked him, but I also was scared, but I wanted him to like me. He said I was supposed to be with him, talking about my body and sex and what I had done so far every day. He wouldn't stop asking details. He made me send news, or he would make sure I wouldn't get booked or get trained by someone I was wanting to work for because it was his friend. I had to report him every day. I had to report to him every day, or he threatened to send the pictures I sent him to my mom, who he found through my Facebook. He wanted to know where I was, what I wore, and who I was with every day. I didn't think I'd ever get away. He tried to get me to go there, but I told him my mom wouldn't let me travel that far yet for a show, but he kept me
block.
But he kept pressing me to the point he asked me for my mom's number and became so mad when I didn't want to give her number to him. My mom ended up noticing something was up with me for a few days, and I told her about everything, even though I thought she was going to be so mad at me and not let me wrestle anymore. I begged her not to tell anyone because I knew he would make me pay. I know it was wrong, though. She went to the cops, and they didn't even file a report. Now, this wasn't Felicia Rose. This was like somebody that reached out to her to kind of corroborate what she's been putting out there about Bull James. But if you just, that's fucking deplorable, man. This is what I mean, man. This business harbors scumbag, and they cover up and make excuses for this type of shit. You can't tell me that they don't know what's going on, but you look the other way. That's fucking disgusting, man. I hated reading it, but I really wanted to give context to what I was talking about.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, social media, it's great for keeping up with your friends and this and that, but it's also so toxic because if you want to stalk somebody, it's not that tough to do on social media. It's really not. Now, I don't know why she didn't just block this dude on every fucking social media platform, everywhere.
Well, she had a goal in mind,
right,
as far as her career goes. And like she said, she kind of liked him, and he convinced her to do certain things, to send some pictures, and she sent the pictures and regretted it, and she knew that he was holding the pictures over her. So she was, I'm guessing, like, this wasn't expressly said, but I'm guessing she was afraid to block him and afraid to just completely end things with him because she didn't want those pictures released. I guess she said he threatened to send the pictures to her mother. This girl was 17.
Yeah, I know.
She was scared to death.
No, social media is so fucking toxic, man. And like I said, man, if you want to stalk someone, and that's where, even like bullying with kids and things like that. Now, kids used to, you go to school and then you'd go home and they felt safe at home. They don't even feel safe at home now because kids are bullying you over social media. They're putting it online, and anything online sticks. Listen, I've got a fucking an 11-year-old out there. I've got a 5-year-old, or I'm sorry, a 7-year-old, and I get nervous. I get nervous for what's going to happen. And trust me, my kid's out there playing games and watching YouTube videos, and my 11-year-old is way smarter he's better than me on computers. And I get worried when he's playing these games, when he's playing, the Roblox or something, that some 12-year-old kid isn't really a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to worry about on social media. These girls that are out there fucking trying to make a living, trying to break out in the business, should not have to deal with some scumbag who's taking advantage of the fact that they know you're hungry to get in the business. It's just disgusting to me. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. And, Man,
Yeah,
I can't even
that's
find
another.
words.
I'm not gonna read because it's like super long. But like she said, part of the problem Felicia Rose had was stalking because of how if they're smart about it, it's a hard thing to prove. Because some people, like I said, yeah, I mean, look, some people can hide it very well. Like, I'm just trying to be a friend, just trying to help out, or like, and like I said, especially with social media, depending on how you word things, like I said, that's why some people, like, if they're smart, they word things in a specific way. So if it ever does go to court, you have plausible deniability. Right. Stalking is a very hard thing to prove. Mm-hmm. It really is, unfortunately.
Which is strange because on social media now you've got proof. You've got it. Look at this. Look what he was saying to me. And there's some fucking bullshit panty-waist judge sitting out there going, well, that's not enough to prove stalking. Fuck you. I've got fucking evidence of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could say, yeah, and most people look at it, he looks a little thirsty, but I don't think it's like, this doesn't rise to the degree of danger. And it's a damn shame. You literally have to go into a courtroom bleeding out of your asshole for a judge to take you serious, which it shouldn't take all that.
It should take nothing. It should say, he's stalking me, and I have proof. Okay. Guilty. Done. Sorry. I'm sorry. Evidence is what a trial is supposed to be about. Unfortunately, now, not even nowadays, again, man, our fucking judicial system is absolutely ridiculous, man. And people get away with shit that they never should. Never, never, never. I'm sorry. But
Mark, you've been patient as always. What you got on all of this?
I mean, like, I can't really say anything revolutionary about it because it's like everyone else, every normal, rational, sane individual has identified that it's fucked up. Like, it is. And not even is it just being scummy. Like, you're also messing with somebody's dreams and aspirations, and just like, even in that regard, it's just fucking disgusting. Like, it is terrible.
Right.
It's terrible that there's not sharper punishments against that. It's terrible that this shit happens so prevalently. It's terrible.
Well, you're taking advantage of someone's dreams and aspirations is what you're doing. That's literally what you're doing. You're taking advantage. Like Bobby said, you knew she wanted to be a wrestler. So you knew if you did, she's not going to fucking back off until it's really, really bad. And she still didn't until it came down to this time. So you're doing that. You know that this girl is, going to be scared to go anywhere because you literally could start calling people and talking shit about her and get her banned from other fucking promotions that she's trying to get into. Awful. It's absolutely awful, dude, what people can hold over your head when you do one little fucking thing. You send one fucking picture, and that's all it fucking takes for someone to hold it over your head. That's it. I'm sorry, Anthony.
Yeah, no. You hit the nail on the head because in addition to this 17-year-old chick that he's fucking around with, Felicia Rose, she doesn't feel comfortable in her own home. She basically is kind of going dark on social media right now and basically going into hiding because, he's still on the loose. And I put it like that specifically because it's just like whenever you get somebody to the point where they don't feel comfortable in their own home, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed and ashamed. And I hope and I pray that any woman that you care about in this world is never made to feel the way you've made these women feel. That's fucked up, man. That to me, that's bad vibes. That's bad karma that you're bestowing on every woman that you'll ever care about in your life, from your mama on down.
Yeah, and again,
that's bad karma. I'm sorry, Bob.
No, and again, I made a shitty joke before about Felicia. No matter what she puts out there, no matter what she says, no matter what she does, she doesn't deserve this, man. And if she doesn't feel safe in her own home, let me tell you something. That's why I support the Second Amendment, especially for women. I'll just put it that way. You guys can take for that what you will, but I mean, it absolutely. And again, social media is so easy to stalk somebody, and it's just not taken as seriously as it used to be back in the day because, oh, well, look at this picture. Look at this. Look at that. Look what you did here. Look what you did there. And as Anthony has said at least 3 times tonight, watch what you put on social media because it could be used against you in the wrong way at the wrong time.
Yeah, and like like you said to your point about she puts out a certain, but she basically said it best. Whenever you make, I feel you can't equate me bringing signs to shows to I asked for this. Right. No. You can't equate. It's not the same, bro. Right. And like even she said, like, if she ever brought a sign and somebody reached out to her, my kid was at that show, I was offended. She went out of her way to apologize, because when you make somebody feel uncomfortable, or whether you meant to or not, it's important to own up to it in any way, shape, or form. But to me, to even equate, she brought a sign to a show that was explicit, that she puts out a sexual image, that don't mean shit, man.
Her sexuality belongs to her. They're her choices to make. That doesn't mean any and everybody can just come in and just fucking harass her and make her feel unsafe. Her sexuality, just like every other individual on this planet, belongs to the individual.
Dude, I don't care if you're a fucking porn star. You should never not feel safe in your own fucking home. Plain and fucking simple. You should never not feel safe to go to the store. You should never not feel safe to do anything. I don't care. It's got nothing to fucking do with it. A sign? Oh, I came up with a clever sign. I'm holding it up. And that's what you're going to base my whole fucking thing off of? No.
And once again, and it's like like to Smark's point earlier, fucking with somebody's dreams. Literally, she was a fan. And now this I guess these different ordeals, it's not just him, but just like in general, a lot of things have turned her off from the wrestling business, because it's a boys club. People take care of their own. Even when it's glaringly obvious that fucked up shit is going on, they'll look the other way, or they'll just make excuses. That's bull being boys. That's just the boys being the fuck that. Fuck that. If your definition of the boys being the boys is this type of shit, maybe it's time to put a padlock on the boys club and shut all the shit down.
Yeah, she didn't go to fucking wrestler's court. Undertaker wasn't sitting there as the fucking presiding judge. This is an actual legal fucking court we're talking about here.
Yeah, like I said, man, like, this is just like, man, like, honestly, if you're a parent and your kid ever expresses any type of interest in pro wrestling, don't. And once again, just stay the fuck away from it. Because once again, how many people out there, just because of the perception of wrestling, my kid likes it, and a lot of people don't put a lot of stock into wrestling because they just write it off as just goofy bullshit. My kid likes it. If he wants to pursue it, I support it. And they don't think much of it. But man, if for no other reason, I want this podcast to go viral just for that reason, just to protect any aspiring hopefuls. Any 8-year-old Johnny, little Jimmy that wants to be a pro. Don't.
You know what?
Don't.
Though? You know what? And this is the unfortunate and scary thing. Like, I want to go back to a question that you asked a while ago. I didn't get to answer. You asked if any of us was shocked or surprised by any of the people who were I'm gonna use a bad who were fingered in this whole thing. God, I'm sorry for that, but no,
we get it. We get it.
I'm not shocked or surprised by any at any of the allegations, any of the people. But what does kind of shock me, and I'm a little disappointed in myself, and we're acting like this is just wrestling, and it's not. It's really not, man. This is a problem everywhere. It's not just wrestling. It's just all coming out in wrestling right now. This is a problem all over the world, dude. Like every fucking industry. As long as there are penises and vaginas, there are going to be people who are forcefully trying to combine the two. And that's just how the fuck it is, man. It happens. It's happening in wrestling. We saw how it all exploded in Hollywood. It happens in schools. It happens in fucking accounting. It's every fucking where. It's everywhere. This shit happens, man. And unfortunately, like a lot of women do speak up on it, but they get brushed under the rug, or it's just not seen as big a problem as it is. until they all come together. Like, look, this shit is a fucking problem. It's happening. And like, it's too easy for us to ignore that this shit is happening all the time. You know, like, that's a fucking problem. It's way too easy for us to just go our day-to-day lives and ignore it. So many women are so used to the fact that when they leave their house every single day, they could very well get raped that fucking day. Like, it's such a reality to them that a lot of them just don't bring it up all the time. But that's the real fucking fear that pretty much every woman on this planet has to live with. It's fucking disgusting, but it's just the truth. It's not just wrestling. It's just that right now, it's where we're seeing it. It's every fucking where.
Yeah, and it's scary that it's 2020 and we're just finding out about some of this stuff. And some of it happened years ago, which is scary. Now, Anthony, you did ask that question, and I don't know how I answered it, and then we kind of moved on from it. But I'd like to hear Smark and your answer on about being surprised about anything this week. So this week and last week. So go ahead, guys.
I'm going to start because once again, this is just going to get me worked up. But Michael Elgin, this piece of shit, he put out a statement following Impact cutting ties with them, and this is a direct quote: "I appreciate the time and opportunities given to me with Impact. That locker room, the film crew, and all the company officials were a pleasure to be associated with. I hope that in time, things get sorted. For now, I have to look at the bright side. I have more time to spend with my son and reclaim time that has been missed." Like,
wait a minute. He has a son?
Yeah.
That right there is scary. The way that and you know, even Bobby was saying before, I was laughing about shit right there and fucking, no. Please don't teach your son that. Please teach your son to be better than you are. I hope that's your fucking goal in life. If it's not, fuck you. Because you should always teach your kids to be better than you are, number one. Number two, I hope your kids don't fucking repeat any mistakes you made. And that's where I'm going to leave that before I get fucking upset.
Yeah, I guess as I get older, I'm kind of desensitized to it, which is not a good thing to do. But, you know, some combination of you, me, Shaheen, you know, different, you know, rotating callers and guest co-hosts over the years have talked about scumbag stories, scumbags in wrestling. And I've been guilty of this because of my enjoyment of the product over the years, because of the personal joy it's brought me. I've heard different fucked up things about people where I would kind of like look the other way. But as I've gotten older, and especially at this point in my life where you see all of these heinous things coming out, it's harder. It becomes easier to not look the other way. And I'm kind of glad. And it's almost to the point where, look, I don't want to see wrestling go away. But at the same time, I'm actually glad these chickens are coming home to roost. Because I really feel like this is on a much smaller scale, but this is basically the meat. This is like the pro wrestling is getting its version of what happened to Hollywood not too terribly long ago with the Me Too shit. This is wrestling's version of Me Too on a smaller scale. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are being held accountable for shit. And I don't care whether it was 5 years ago or 5 minutes ago. If you did shady, fucked up shit, it needs to be brought to light. To in my opinion, protect the sanctity of pro wrestling, because I get that there are some aspects of the old school that need to be carried on, but there are a lot of old school practices that need to be left in the fucking past. And I really feel like this speaking up shit will hopefully be the beginning of wrestling starting to kind of rewrite its history. I feel like this is the chance for wrestling to kind of get like a fresh coat of paint and hopefully, like I said, create a better future for the next generation coming up.
Is there a sanctity of pro wrestling anymore, Anthony? Seriously? Seriously, after all these allegations, and not only and again, I'm going to say it one more time, not only the people that are being accused of the allegations, but the people that knew about it and are just now speaking up. Just now. Just now, when there's a movement about it, you couldn't have spoke up earlier. You couldn't have said something to anyone earlier. Why? Why not? You knew. You could have backed up this person's story and made them not think made everyone not think that they were just trying to blame someone for some bullshit. And you could have backed up their story and helped them out, because that's a big part of a lot of people's stories, that they don't ever have backup. And you could have backed it up, and you fucking didn't. I swear to God, dude, that pisses me off more than fucking anything, is that they could have done something, they didn't, and suddenly now they're speaking out like it's a fucking big virtue signaling thing. Bullshit. You should have said something then. You should have made sure something happened then. Now suddenly, because everyone else is speaking out, you want to jump out there and get your fucking name out there. Shouldn't fucking happen. That's not the way it should fucking happen in life. Sorry. That's just not the way it should fucking happen. Anyway, I got upset again. I'm sorry.
No, and I definitely, I'm gonna toss the Smark in a minute, but you getting worked up kind of reminded me of something that I wanted to get into, because this ties into the fucking fuckboy Joey Ryan. One of the people that have been very vocal on social media is one Joey Janela, and I've never really had an issue with Joey. I mean, Jay Cash, people have had different issues. I've never had a personal issue with the guy, but he's been rubbing me the wrong way over the past couple days, because he's been one of the main people. Oh, Joey, I've known shit about this. We were friends at one time, but I've known about this shit, and more shit is coming out. And I'm like, motherfucker. Like, this isn't even a Joey Janela part. This is a problem with a lot of motherfuckers in wrestling and in the world in general, where you'll hear, it's like you hold this shit in your back pocket for a rainy day. It comes across like, this motherfucker screwed me on a payoff. He screwed me on this. He screwed me on that. Okay, I know. I want to get this motherfucker where it hurts. I want to keep this in my back pocket. But to me, to your point, if you know something is fucked up and you sit there and allow it, as a man, I have no respect for you. Like, if you know this motherfucker is out here doing inappropriate shit with the women, with underage women at that, like, and you don't say shit until after the fact, no, you're just as big a piece of shit as he is. And in my opinion, you should also be brought up on charges. Because to me, you're complicit. Look, to me, your silence speaks volumes. When you sit back and don't do anything, to me, I'm all about the attempt in life. If you speak out on something and you get fired, or you get in a physical altercation, you get your ass whooped, at least you made the attempt to make the situation better. I have more respect for people that make the attempt. But when you come out after the fact, shut the entire fuck up, because you're not virtue. You're basically a part of the problem. If you knew and you said nothing and did nothing, it goes back to the people that make these fucking backhanded compliments / jokes about Lawler. That's like pro wrestling's open secret. That's the biggest open secret in pro wrestling, that this dude likes to fuck with underage girl. Yeah, I don't give a fuck if he got off with the charges. The allegation, to me, you can't convince me that he didn't do some shit in his lifetime. I don't give a fuck if he never smoked a cigarette, smoked a joint, never drank a beer. The guy is still a piece of shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. I can't argue with any of that. Smart, were you surprised by anything you saw? We did not get your answer either, and we shall now.
Well, I did. You were away, sort of.
Sorry.
But that's kind of where the whole discussion about like the Chikara thing and the Mike Quackenbush thing came from. That was what really kind of surprised me the most, because like I'm just, and you never really know anybody, but I've spent so much time listening to like the motherfucker on podcasts and like just watching different YouTube videos and stuff. And like we said, those are a little bit more kind of ambiguous. Those aren't necessarily like the same type of heinous stuff that's being more prevalently heard from like everybody else. So that's a little bit more just being sketchy and not necessarily doing anything illegal. But that being said, just the whole, I think the more surprising thing, one of the most surprising things is just how many people, just as a total. And it's like, and it's like almost a new one every day. And I think it's going to be that way for at least another couple of weeks, where it's just like, there's just so much that has kind of gotten swept under the rug, that it's just so much of it is coming out now, and it's just, you have to face it all head on.
Yeah, and Anthony brought up a few things there, and the Joey Janela thing. I knew this, I knew that. First of all, how did you know it? Did you watch it happen and let it happen? On a lot, and that's what I feel about a lot of these people that were like, "Well, I knew this was happening and this and that." Did you watch it? Did you let it? Did you not think that maybe I should stop this or do something? I mean, my God, man, it's just like, the fact that you're coming out and fucking saying that doesn't make you a good person. The fact that you're saying that makes you kind of just as scummy as the guy that's doing it. You knew about it, you didn't say nothing, and if you saw it happening, you should have stopped it, and if you didn't, you're a scumbag.
Yeah,
I'm more ambiguous with like the Joey Ryan thing. I'm not saying that. Let me clarify the fact that at the time, for a large part of his career, he was just on the independents, so there was no real like head place of employment like Impact was for him, where you could go to somebody and be like, "Yo, this guy's fucking up, get him out of here." Well, so I feel like, and I'm not, like I said, I fully believe that he did what he was accused of, but then there's also the other element of, and it's unfortunate and it's not justifiable, he was an executive with PWG for a long time.
Uh-huh.
He had his own promotion, Bar Wrestling, for a while. There's a lot of people who probably kept their mouth shut because they figured it would be beneficial to their careers if they did so.
Well, then fuck you for wanting to further your career and not wanting to actually help a person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes.
Agree. But, I mean, that's the sad reality of the situation.
I know, man. I get it. And trust me, I get, the dream, you're living it, and you don't want to rock the boat. That used to be the saying, you don't want to rock the boat. You know what, dude? There's certain things you fucking want to make a lot of waves about. And anything assault-wise to a woman, to a minor, I'm knocking a motherfucker out.
Yeah.
My job is
like
12th on my list at that point.
Exactly. Because I don't know, man. Like I said, this isn't me talking like I'm some type of tough guy and all that type of shit. But I don't know, man. I would like to think, just amongst us right here, we couldn't be in an environment or a locker room setting where dudes are just coming in casually talking, hey, I fucked the shit out of this 15-year-old the other night. Man, had her climbing the wall. Like, to me, I don't know, man. You couldn't be in my company, talk casually about that type of shit and have it just go like, yeah, I just like, all right, man, see you next match. See you next. Nah, man, nah. That would have to be addressed with me. Like I said, I might get my ass laid out, but that something like that would have to be addressed. Because to me, it's just just for my own peace of mind, my own conscience, I couldn't lay my head down to go to sleep that night knowing you said some fucked up shit to me like that, and I just kind of like, see you next match, see you next week. Yeah, because that to me, I have a certain moral compass. I like to think everybody has a moral compass, and to me, it's just like the one in wrestling is life in the entertainment industry in general has always been skewed depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the moral compass in WWE and wrestling itself is facing south instead of north. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get where people can keep this in, and then a few people come out with the website that came out, the Twitter that came out with the exposed wrestling might have been a joke, but it also caused a lot of people to come out. So even as a shitty made up a lot of stuff, also they did get a lot of people to come out and say a lot of things. But I just don't get these people that, I knew about that. And I was just worried about my job. Man, your job comes over fucking like a minor being assaulted or a girl, any other girl, not even a minor, dude, anyone being assaulted. I don't get it. I don't get how a job, and I know you lived a dream, but you know what? Maybe outing someone in 2020 might actually get you more bookings. So
think about it. Me fake fighting in my underwear is more important than this little girl over here not growing up with fucking mental health issues because she was forced to age before her time.
Man, I'd rather.
Yeah, I mean, just like, come on, man.
Man, I'd rather greet people at Walmart, to be honest with you, bro. I swear to God. I would greet people at Walmart if I had to, rather than fucking watch that shit go down. That's just me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as bad a person as I think I am sometimes. I don't know. I would rather greet people at fucking Walmart than watch that shit go down and know about it and hold it for years. And then suddenly, when it's cool to talk about it, that's when I jump in. No. Not. That shouldn't be how society works. Unfortunately, I guess it is. What else we got, guys? We should probably do that because I keep getting upset here.
Yeah, same, man. I'm getting more and more sick to my stomach. You know.
I know. I've got one more thing. I mean, obviously,
I guess we'll break down the COVID thing real quick, and then just kind of like I'll try to think of a happy note to end on because
I've got a few more little things we can get into besides that, but I guess Jamie Senegal, who I'm not 100%. I don't really know much about this, but she is a wrestler. And Candy Cartwright is the girl that came out about Matt Riddle last week. She put out a bunch of tweets kind of backing up what Candy was saying. So once again, this Matt Riddle thing seems like the relationship was kind of consensual, but he cheated on his wife, and that's kind of what they're trying to get him on here. It's just it's very weird how everyone keeps doing this. And again, this is another one. She knew about this.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Look. I know, especially with all the technology we have this day and age, it's very easy to fake a tweet, Photoshop shit. But the one thing that is also very easy to do is a court can easily subpoena phone records, text messages, because once again, if some shady shit went down, it's nothing for a court to subpoena your phone records,
right?
And like dig into your history. So you got to ask yourself, who would go if somebody truly believes they were wrong? Why would they go through the trouble of sending out fake tweets, photoshopping shit when it would be very easy to prove through phone records, through text messages, which, as you know, Bobby, you've stated many times on the show over here, is nothing is ever truly deleted. You can hit the delete button till you're blue in the fucking face. Once it's out there, it's out there. It can be found. It can be traced. So why would somebody go through all of that trouble for something that can be traced?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And and obviously, Matt Riddle basically claimed she was a stalker and this and that. And basically, this girl Jamie Senegal came out and said Candy is not a stalker. WrestleMania weekend 2017. It was public knowledge to everyone. I guess that's public knowledge to wrestlers, except Lisa Riddle, Matt's wife, that they were together. I didn't even know Candy yet, but I knew Matt, and I knew. That's where she puts it. Over the course of the following years, they were seen leaving shows together. Hold on, hanging out and with. So yeah, it seems like that's the only thing they're doing is that they're trying to get him on. They cheated on his wife.
Which morally isn't the right thing to do. And look, a lot of these situations. Look, I'm not saying Matt's guilty or innocent on this situation, but this seems like it's a situation because of who he is, because he's somebody that WWE has invested and will continue to invest a lot in. They have a vested interest in making sure this goes away. So it seems, based on the fact that this woman isn't backing down, that there's a little smoke to this story. You know what they say about where there's smoke, there's fire. So there seems like there's some elements of truth, but WWE is doing their best to get ahead of the story and kind of bury it, which, given that track record, they will. This will go away eventually, but it's a fucked up deal because I do feel like there is grains of truth to this chick story.
Yeah, there is. So I don't know. And again, I mean, there was obviously things that he was kind of forcing herself upon her and this and that, but from what it's seeming like if they were leaving shows together and hanging out and this and that, if he forced himself, I don't feel like she would be doing that. I could be wrong, but this seems like more they're trying to get him on cheating on his wife. And from what this girl actually says in the tweet, he told his wife that he was cheating. So I don't know. This might be another one that's not exactly all smell test, but he did do at least something. And hey, where's that WWE morality clause now, huh?
Now, and this is a fucked up example, but I wonder if it was a situation where, I wonder if it was almost like a Tupac situation with the rape case from back in the day where maybe Matt brought her around a bunch of dudes. He didn't do anything explicitly himself, but because he ended up being like the most famous guy in the room, she's just going after him. I think that's another way of looking at it, maybe?
Could be, and it's funny this came right when his big push started. You know, and listen, it's kind of like the whole Lars Sullivan thing where no one knew anything, and suddenly he was about to debut on Raw, and all this shit came out about him.
Yeah, he pissed off somebody at Ringside News because that motherfucker had a hard on for fucking with that poor bastard.
I don't know if Brad Shepard, I don't know, maybe he came on to him and he said no. I don't know. That was a shot against. That was a Brad Shepard.
That was like a running joke for a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Riddle's about to get his big break, and then suddenly all this shit comes out. So, man, crazy fucking shit going on, man. Crazy fucking shit going on. But I say we get out of the sexual allegation business on this show. What do you guys think?
To kind of give us a semi light segue, WWE Backstage has been canceled. I know, sad times. CM Punk didn't, in fact, change the universe.
Man, where are those 6 people going to go now?
Man, was anybody WWE Backstage? I mean, I chalked it up to this. I watched clips. Some clips were better than others, but it was one of those deals where wrestling as a whole isn't hot. So who the fuck is going to go out their way to watch a recap show about a business that isn't overall hot right now? So this was like one of those, like, who thought this was a good idea? This was a bad idea from the concept. It would be one thing if this were like the Attitude Era or wrestling was semi-relevant. But the product is just not watchable right now. So who would have ever thought a recap show, even if it's a quote-unquote shoot-style recap show, recapping a show that nobody really cares about, who would have thought that was a good idea?
Well, here's the problem. Number one, you're probably not going to go out of your way to do that. Number two, you've got podcasts all over the place that are recap shows. Like us, like a ton of other, like thousands and thousands and thousands of other podcasts that you're going to listen to when you're sitting at work, when you can do something, when you're in your car. You're just not going to do it. And I mean, listen, the only time we ever talked about Backstage is literally when CM Punk showed up. I think that's the only time we ever talked about anything on that show.
Yeah.
Ever.
And honestly, that show kind of peaked with when he showed up. But even then, like, I guess, obviously the animosity between him and WWE is still very much a thing. Because if you notice, after his first couple appearances, they stopped promoting the fact that he was on the show.
Yeah.
I think he was on there like the first 2 times. After that second time, fuck this guy. Christian, Mark Henry, Sheamus, tune in to Backstage.
Ironically, the best moment it was by somebody who used to be there and isn't anymore, but it wasn't even Punk. Like, we played it on the show, though. There was that moment where, like, for whatever reason, Moxley just had the dog right next to Renee, and they just barked and scared the living shit.
I was going to mention that.
Like, that is the best part that will forever be that show's memory.
That will. And you're right, that was one of the best parts of the fucking show, is when Moxley just showed up out of nowhere. And hey, I wouldn't doubt if that's, I'm not going to say it's the big part of it, but I wouldn't doubt if that's where fucking Fox started going, they're working from home right now. This might not be the best idea.
Yeah. And like I said, Punk wasn't a regular fixture on the show. And plus, like I said, it was weird because the few clips that I did watch, it was like a weird mashup because you would have people on there like Booker T and Renee Young who obviously had to toe the company line, and you'd have Punk over here like basically openly shitting on the product because he's, and it's very important to make this distinction, he is a Fox employee, not a WWE employee. So he can say whatever the fuck he wants. So it was like a weird mix. It was almost a show that struggled with its identity. WWE obviously had their vision of the show, but then you have Fox and Punk over here going their own direction. So it felt like it was almost like a tale of two shows at different points.
Yeah, but still,
go ahead, Bobby.
I'm sorry. Even still, you didn't know what to expect from Punk, and his loyalty was with Fox, but he was still handcuffed in that regard because it's still a Fox show. So, Fox doesn't want somebody coming on their network just completely running down a show that they're airing. Why are people going to watch this? If you're shitting on the show that we're airing, that we paid a shit ton of money for, so they were handcuffed in that regard. But then touching back on something else that you said, I strongly agree that pro wrestling is not what it used to be. I still consider myself to be a lifelong fanatic, and I just cannot bring myself to watch any of it. I just have no desire to watch any pro wrestling at all, least of which WWE. I just cannot do it. I have no desire. And I know that a lot of other people feel that same way, and the numbers prove that. So if nobody's watching the actual show, who the fuck is going to want to watch this bullshit with people who are fucking handcuffed by the company or by the network or talking about the shit? Nobody. Less people are going to watch that. Like, Renee could do the fucking show with a titty hanging out. Nobody's going to know because nobody watches the fucking show.
I would watch that one.
I would find footage. Nobody's going to see that shit live.
If you tell me she's doing it and it's live, I will watch that live. I swear to God, Bobby, I will watch that.
I'll watch it live, and that would...
That girl, oh my God, that girl's insanely hot to me. I think Renee Young is just naturally insanely hot. I'm sorry.
She is insanely hot.
Wow.
She is.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Bobby.
No.
That's good.
No, I mean, besides Renee being insanely hot, and Punk wasn't just out there being critical. He was out there on Twitter cussing people out, basically, on Twitter, using the F word, calling them cunts. I mean...
he went after the fucking Miz. Like, he killed his family.
Yes. Yeah, he told the sucking Saudi money dick or something like that. Blood-covered Saudi money or dick sucking. I don't know. It was crazy.
Poor Miz is just trying to promote his reality show. He's like, guys, an episode of Miz is... Fuck you Saudi.
So basically, Punk got worked because I remember that little deal because Miz insulted Punk. I don't know, and like I said, I don't know these people personally. They could be friends behind the scenes, enemies, but whatever. But Miz had made an in-character. He took an in-character dig at Punk. At no point did he insult this man personally. He didn't insult Phil. He insulted CM Punk. CM Punk, though, went after Mike Mizanin very hard. And to me, like I said, I'm not going to be I've never been the biggest Miz fan, but I've grown to respect the guy. And he didn't deserve that little comment. That was a bit much. That was a bit much, man. Like, I consider myself more of a Punk fan than a Miz fan, but yeah, that was a bit much, man. To the point, and I guess Punk, whether it was Fox, it probably was a Fox call. Because I remember that tweet, unless you screenshotted it, it didn't stay up very long.
Mm-mm. No, it was deleted very fast. And I'm sure it was like Fox calling and being like, yeah, could you delete that, please? Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all.
I wonder, you think Fox got like a panic call from Vince at like 4:00 in the morning? Like, look, you hired that motherfucker. Told you not to hire that motherfucker. Now you want to get that I can't talk to that son of a bitch. You get that motherfucker on the phone and tell him to take that shit down.
I don't know. It's probably a Fox employee that saw it. Was like, hey guys, come here for a minute. His dreams and aspirations made him tell on someone. See how that works? All right.
No, but I figured that's a nice little segment. We were talking about Renee Young a little bit. And man, I talk about Renee all day, but she was one of the first to go public with testing positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. And I bring this up because it was kind of weird that they got a gag order on this developmental dude, but a lot of notable people have been coming out saying, yeah, this shit is real. Renee Young, Kayla Braxton, she's on her second round with the COVID. Mm-hmm. Jamie Noble's another one. Adam Pearce. So once again, man, I feel like we're gonna shit on WWE tonight a lot. We have, and we let the shitting continue because they from Jump Street have handled this fucking COVID situation very, very poorly. They didn't take the threat seriously like a lot of people in this country, which is why we're in the fucking state that we're in right now. But that's another argument for another day. But specifically WWE, they're just now getting around to testing people. We're almost 4 months into this shit. They're just getting around to testing people. They're just now allowing people to wear masks after people have already been exposed to these motherfuckers. Like who does this? Who raised these people?
I don't know. But it again, man, I said it before. I just don't understand how a company now, they're just starting. I said this last week. They have millions invested in this company, in these people, whether they get paid $50,000 a year or whatever. There's still millions invested in these people. If they believe in you, there's money invested in you, and they won't even test people. Seriously, you wouldn't want to keep these people that you got money in tip top shape, which is what you probably kind of expect from them, is to be in tip top shape all the time because they're fucking wrestlers.
And look, here's the thing: there's no safe way to do this wrestling shit. There's no way. But I don't give a fuck how much you sanitize, how much you wipe shit down. Just in my business, just in my job, there's no safe way to do the wrestling shit and not potentially expose yourself to something. But the people that have you owe it to the people that through this entire pandemic, whether they were forced, whether they felt that they were loyal foot soldiers, or whatever the case may be, you owe it to the people that have showed up faithfully since this shit became a threat to them, to their families, to the world at large. You owe it to them to handle the situation better than you've handled it. And they failed everybody. From Vince on. Vince has failed that company in so many ways. So many fucking ways, man. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment.
Well, it almost feels like they're trying to just save a buck because they're not making as much money as they were when before this shit all happened. They're not doing fucking any house shows. They're not getting any crowds. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. And it kind of feels like they're just trying to save a buck. And like I said before, that seems like some rinky-dink $10 fucking indie that would do something like that. You wouldn't expect a $1 billion fucking company. But then again, you sit there and go, well, then maybe that's how they became a $1 billion company, is by saving a buck everywhere. Well, now isn't the time to be saving a fucking buck. If you want your people there, what is it really going to take someone to fucking die from this disease for them to fucking take it seriously? Is that really what it's going to take?
Don't say that, Fox.
Look, I'm not. Trust me, I would never wish that on anyone, and I would never fucking hope that. But is that really what it's going to fucking take for them to be like, oh shit, this shit is fucking serious? 120,000 people have died from this bullshit fucking virus, if you believe the fucking numbers, and and you still aren't fucking testing your people you have money invested in. that you're going to invest in, that if they make it big, you're going to invest more millions of dollars in? Seriously? I literally can't wrap my head around the reasoning for that. Oh, well, we're taking temperatures. Motherfucker, test these people every time they walk in the fucking door. Every time.
Yeah, because you like I said, dude, like you can. I don't care how many temperatures you take. Once they step into the ring, and there's that physical contact, the risk is already there. Yeah. But at the very least, for these people, that wrestling itself is dangerous enough. You tack on an airborne disease that we have yet to find a cure for, and we may never find a cure for, any type of vaccination, and it becomes doubly irresponsible. And to me, if I'm like a Roman Reigns type, like I said, he was a guy. He's proven to honestly be the smartest guy in the room, because once this shit kind of started, like to hit the fan a little bit, he's the one. It's a shame, but of all the people, it took the fucking Miz coming to work with a cold for Reigns to take a step back, for certain people in the company to take a step back and go, maybe we should start to take this shit seriously.
I want to touch on that too.
No, go ahead, Bobby. Take it.
I'm sorry, I was going to wait until you were done, but the whole Miz thing, because we all remember how when this thing all got started, how irresponsible it seemed of the Miz to show up to work sick, and yes, that was absolutely irresponsible. But we also have to remember the company that this guy works for, the fucking insane lunatic who he works for, who doesn't, like, he thinks that you're a pussy if you fall prey to a fucking to a germ. This man is fucking insane, and he drilled it into all of them. Like, you can't call in sick to WWE. We've heard that from several people in interviews. People calling in like, Vince, I can't come to work today. I'm sick. Vince's response is, well, you could be sick at work. This is the shit that he has drilled into their head. So, of course, Miz was programmed to show up at the worst possible fucking time sick. It wasn't even a question to him. Like, I'm fucking sick as fuck, but I gotta go to work. Never occurred to him that he might infect everybody with this disease that's fucking killing people.
Yeah.
So, where it was irresponsible of him, I feel bad, because what the fuck do you do when you're programmed that way?
Yeah, and I mean, listen, he's working for a guy that thinks if you sneeze, you're weak because you couldn't control the sneeze. That's fucking psychotic shit right there, number one. You need some fucking therapy, number two. Yeah, I just, it's ridiculous, but, man, I mean, like I said, a lot of people got it fucking the right way. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, who comes back every now and then, but, a lot of these guys got the right fucking idea. And Reigns had a newborn, so I completely get why he did what he did. And you know what? I don't think he cares if they fucking get rid of him at this point. I don't think he gives a shit. I fucking do this to take care of my family. So, speaking of family, I have a shot coming. Hey.
Cheers.
Cheers again, gentlemen. 100. All right.
100.
No, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where it's just like they're so deep in the weeds on this thing that it's almost like they're at that point of no return. But I feel like we're at the point now where wrestling could be, at the very minimum, forced to shut down for an extended period of time, because you can't operate. Hypothetically, if somebody tests positive for something, the deal is you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, 14 days. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they're doing these taping schedules, but it's like, it's best, honestly, to go on like at the very minimum a month. Go away for about a month, because even with AEW, I know they've been testing people. They've taken this shit a lot more serious than WWE, but once again, the risk is still there. They had to reshuffle Dynamite this week because of people that caught this shit. This is very real, and COVID is not going away no time soon. This is like the new normal.
Dude, they just shut down, once again here, they shut down bars. And they shut down, try to catch this, bars and rafting and tubing have been shut down. Yes, any place that has rafting and tubing in Texas is shut down, and bars.
Well, blame the ignorant American mindset, because if you notice in other parts of the world, Europe, Canada, good luck being an American getting into those countries because they took this pandemic seriously from the jump, followed the advice of the medical professionals, social distance, wore masks, quarantine, and all that shit. They're relatively good right now. And they're still following.
New Zealand.
Yes.
And
just think about...
No, I'm sorry. And in Dallas County, which is where I work, I don't live in Dallas County, but I work in Dallas County, you have to wear a mask indoors. Dude, if it's a gas station and you don't have a mask, they're going to fucking tell you to get out. Don't come in here. Yep.
All I'm saying is...
At work, I got to wear a mask.
Yeah, I got to wear one for 8 hours a day. So this one is like sensitive to me because I'm like, just think how much better shape this country would be in if we had took this shit seriously from jump. Way back in March, wore the mask, so many people. I still see people today. It basically it's enough to not make me go into a psychotic rage with them, groups co-mingling. I know these people. It doesn't fucking matter. Where's the social distance? Where's your fucking mask? Like, we would be so far ahead of the curve right now if we had took this shit serious 4 months ago.
Yeah, and I didn't even look in the crowd until Smart said something in Messenger about if people had masks on, and not everyone did, but I did see that they did allow some people on SmackDown tonight to wear masks, but they had SmackDown masks on. Notice that. So I did see some masks out there at least.
That's another thing, man. Merchandising, man. What the fuck? You think that they would want to make a buck off of this?
Yeah. They could be wearing... they're selling the masks. Why not let everyone wear the ones you're selling? Everyone out there, when Bray Wyatt comes out, should have a fucking Bray Wyatt mask on. Shouldn't they?
Dude, come on, dude. This is Vince we're talking about. This man no soul God. Of course he's going to no-sell a pandemic. Problem. There's nothing going on. The masks are ugly for TV. It'll make people think that there's a problem. The fuck problem? There's no problem. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, but then you have The Rock coming on SmackDown in the middle of it and telling you about COVID-19 and talking about it and telling you about it. So it's like, you sit there and try to dodge everything and not say anything and never talk about it, and then you play the commercial with The Rock talking about it and mentioning the disease by the whole disease by name, when you haven't even done that one fucking time on your show. Not one time have you called it COVID-19. Have you even said the words COVID? I don't even think you say 19 anymore. Jesus Christ.
and like, come on, and like with all the years, I wouldn't. With the accusations, I would keep numbers out of it. But
19 is legal.
Exactly. At this point, man, I would take no chances. You got to have a 2 in your age before I fuck with you.
Give me ID. I want ID. I want ID right now, and I want ID right now.
No, but it's a lot of irresponsible shit. I'm actually surprised they're booking old ass Ric Flair of all people during a pandemic. Should he even be traveling right now? Like, it's just like it's a lot of risky shit going on right now.
To be fair, I believe a man like Ric Flair would sign a waiver. I don't give a fuck what I get. I will fucking be on television and stay on. I think Ric Flair would sign that waiver in a fucking heartbeat.
So you think they get
enough alcohol flowing through his bloodstream?
You mean blood in his alcohol stream?
Yeah. That's a good point, Box. I don't think they had to twist Ric Flair's arm for TV.
Listen, I think you can make a lot of points, but I think Ric Flair might not be the best one because I think that man doesn't care anymore. Listen, he wants to be on TV. He wants to be out there. I think he would sign that waiver in a heartbeat. I don't even think he would read it. I think he would just sign it. How's that? Most people would go, I got to send this to my lawyer. He'd be like, fuck, I don't give a fuck. Sign. Go. I'll run out there now. Rick, sign this or you can't be on TV. Okay.
He owes so much alimony to so many people, man. He wants to go out there and have people cough directly into his mouth.
Pretty much.
I'm sure.
Well, WWE paid that off, don't forget. I'm going to tell you something. If anyone owes WWE, it's Ric Flair. I'm sorry, but he does.
They took care of all that for him? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. They took care of all that for him. That was, what was that, 5-6 years ago, maybe? I'm horrible with time.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, it's almost like, it's weird because even though Rick isn't what you would consider, I don't consider Rick a WWE guy at all. I consider him more of he'll always be like I'll always look at Flair as more of an NWA, WCW guy.
Yeah.
That's just the way but he has the rare distinction of being, even though he was from the enemy side of things, he's always been treated like gold. If anything, I feel like Vince did more right by him than fucking his home company ever did. Mm-hmm. In terms of like bailing him out of shit constantly, whether it was IRS, that these women fucking just whatever, man. Like gave him the greatest send off that any wrestler will get in pro. I don't give a fuck. Hulk Hogan, the man that legitimately helped Vince build his empire, didn't get the kind of send off that fucking Ric Flair got. Let that sink in for a minute. Well, I think the only person that'll come close to getting that kind of send off is Taker when he's ready to wrap it up.
Well, I mean, according to him, he's ready to wrap it up now, which is why we got the SmackDown we did tonight. Mm-hmm. You know what, Anthony? I'm glad you brought that up, guys. Do you really buy this retirement? Are they making him retire? Do you buy it? I'm
not even kidding. I honestly got when I saw that announced, I thought he had died. I was like, oh, fuck, even more terrible shit.
They did make it seem like that. But, I mean, do you guys really buy this retirement? I mean, listen, he's how many times, 2-3 times has he dropped the hat and the boots in the middle of the ring and the jacket, and he's come back. So, do we buy this? Do we see him at Mania? I mean, was the Boneyard match? Listen, if that Boneyard match is his last fucking match, I have zero problems with it. Not one. I think that's actually a great match to go out on. And again, Anthony, you were saying, in the Messenger that you're watching this and it's just as awesome. And it was really fun. My kid was watching it and asking me questions like, how did they do that? How did they do that? It's TV. But I got no issues if that's his last match, and I'm going to leave it at that. Go ahead. Yeah,
I tentatively buy that it's going to be he's sincere with the retire, even though he never explicitly said I'm retired. If you notice that, I haven't watched the whole episode of Last Ride yet, that last one, but the clip that I saw, he didn't explicitly say I'm done wrestling or anything. He said I have no desire to wrestle another match. There's a difference between I have no desire to wrestle and I'm not wrestling no more. Wording is everything, and I want people to pay attention to that. But based on the theme that ran throughout the course of the documentary, he was looking for that last great match. He kept going back to like the note Shawn Michaels went out on. He wanted to have that one last great match befitting of the Undertaker legacy. And even though it's kind of weird to have somebody with the kind of stature of an Undertaker having his last match be in front of no fans, that part of it is weird. But considering that match and is about as well as could be expected, and considering the theme that of him looking for that, chasing the dragon, looking for that one last great match, he's not going to top this, in my opinion, because what's going to happen, it's going to be that dog. He's going to be the dog chasing his tail. And we've seen it the past couple years. He'll come back, have a shitty match. Oh, that fucking sucked. He'll come back the following year, redeem himself. Oh, I feel pretty good. He'll have another match. Oh, it sucked. It's going to be a rotating cycle. And the thing of it is, he's going to only get older. And it's going to get harder. And I don't want to see this dude die in the ring. I don't. I have no desire. I have no desire to see The Undertaker become the dead man for real. So I feel like part of me, just based on how he comes across in the documentary, Taker, for all intents and purposes, comes across as a very prideful guy. He doesn't seem like a guy that wants to hang on too long, and I feel like that match ended about it went about as well as could be expected, even though it was in front of no fans. So unless Vince is in an actual pinch, I don't see him coming out of retirement. I don't see him ever wrestling again. No, unless Vince basically calls him up and say, "Bro, I need you to come back."
Yeah, and even if it was in front of no fans, the fact that it was in a graveyard, not just in the ring with no fans in the audience, makes a difference to me, in my opinion. But after now, Anthony, I just want you to answer, and I want everyone to answer this question. Do you see him going back to Saudi once they go?
I would hope not. I honestly would hope. Take, he has not had a fucking good match in Saudi ever since this shit started. So yeah, stay the fuck out of Saudi, bro. Like, please, if the Saudi prince just fucking wants to see Taker, send a do a hologram. Put a match from '96 on the screen. Hey, here's Undertaker in his prime. There you go. Boom. Because look, like even if you're the Saudi prince, and even if you have a hard on for guys from the '80s, guys from the Attitude Era, once you see the finished product in front of your face, don't you kind of think like, this isn't what I'm seeing on these clips. This isn't the same person that I'm seeing on YouTube or the WWE Network or wherever I'm seeing this shit. Like the images from my past aren't measuring up to what I'm seeing in front of me. So at some point, the Saudi prince has to be thinking like, this isn't what I thought. I'm sorry, go ahead, Bobby.
No, I'm sorry, dude. I keep cutting you off, but you know what? It occurred to me. They're probably not doing this, but do you remember what happened the last time Undertaker performed in Saudi?
With Goldberg, he almost died?
Yeah.
He almost got impaled? Yeah.
Was that the last time? Or was it the, oh shit, that was the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful. Fuck, maybe I forgot about that because fuck Goldberg. And I wanted to forget about that. But what I was referencing was the moment when all the Undertaker did, he came out, wrecked shop for a moment, never took the coat and the hat off. I was thinking that may have been setting the stage because in Saudi Arabia, they're stuck in an era. They want what they want. We all know the stories of them wanting to, and so the company basically had fucking guy back. They wanted to see Macho Man. They wanted the Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna. Like, they wanted all of these old school people who are dead. And yes, Hogan is dead to me, but they wanted all of these dead people. And so they did the best that they could. They brought out a fake Yokozuna, I could see. No, I do believe The Undertaker wants to be done. He wanted to be done a while ago, but he wanted to go out at his best. I don't have to run down what you guys have already brought up, but I feel like if they offer the money, if he knew that he had a 7-figure payday come in just for going over there and trying his best, I think he do that. I don't see him turning down 7 figures. You know what I mean? Right. But if he's not going to do that, if he just sticks to his guns, like, I'm just done. I just physically cannot do it. Like, I can't even safely get on a plane. I just can't do it. I could see them putting the gear on another really tall guy and just leaving the hat on, leaving the coat on, having his hair draped over his face, do a tombstone, do a choke slam, and walk out. And Saudi Arabia would never know the difference.
Pritchard, is Brian Lee still alive?
Right. Undertaker.
Put some lips in his shoes. They'll never know the difference.
Oh, jeez. All right.
But the thing about it, the thing that keeps worrying me though about Taker, the only thing that concerns me is another aspect of that special was he said case Vince ever hits the in case of emergency glass with the Undertaker costume in it, then I might have to do what I have to do because it's one of those, they have an insane amount of loyalty and respect. If you want to see the human side of Vince, watch this documentary and how he interacts with the Undertaker. At one point, I can't remember what part it was in, maybe part 2. But they asked him, the producer asked Vince on camera, so can you sum up what The Undertaker means to you personally and has meant to the company? And it's one of the rare moments on camera that you see Undertaker, that you'll see Vince tear up and go, can't answer that. And they literally have to cut away. He goes basically gives them the cut sign. And that's one of the more frustrating things about Vince, in my opinion. Because he'll show you these glimmers of being a human being. And when you hear Undertaker talk about this dude with reverence, because when so many people did not see a dime, Ole Anderson famously told Undertaker a long time ago when he was Mean Mark Callis in WCW, nobody will ever pay to see you. Nobody will ever pay a dime to see you. You'll never be anything in this business. He goes to WWF and literally no proof, no kind of track record. Vince puts a gimmick on him, and from that moment on, I get the loyalty to Vince. I get it. He took a chance on him, and like I said, just in my life, in my situation, we all have people that have taken chances on us that we feel an undying loyalty to. The rest of the world can think they're a piece of shit, but because they took a chance on you and believed in you at a point where nobody else did, you can never fully turn your back on that person. So I get the bond. That it's not all about money with Taker when it comes to Vince. It's literally like a father-son type of situation.
Yeah, Taker seems more like a guy that's more about respect than money.
Yeah, for sure. But a seven-figure payday is a seven-figure payday.
Oh, yeah. Even Shawn Michaels came out of retirement for that shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. Got a point. He got to keep his trophy wife happy somehow. Man, that mean, like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, I mean, that Michelle, she must have been a hell of an Undertaker fan growing up.
Whew. I don't know, man, but yeah. Now, Smart, you didn't get to answer on either question, so obviously, do you think this Taker thing is retirement is real, and do you think he'll go back to Saudi for that sweet Saudi money?
The sweet Saudi money. Yeah, I mean, it's a pro wrestling retirement. So, I mean, that alone tells you everything you need to know. It does feel different. It does feel like that it could actually stick. I think the Saudi thing would be the only real temptation. I think everything else has already been done. I don't think he's going to get a better WrestleMania match than what he just had. And yeah, he did the Saudi thing too, but like, that's quite a bit of money that he would be turning down. So I think that's the final temptation. I think if he can say no the next time they flash a little bit of money at him for that, then he's free and clear.
Yeah, and I do agree with what you're saying. It does feel a little different, this one right here. I mean, they did a whole SmackDown tonight on Undertaker. I mean, it even ended with Jeff Hardy laughingly doing the Undertaker pose in the middle of the ring, and the fans chanting "Thank you, Taker." So I don't know. My opinion, I think this might be. He might have decided, yeah, and I kind of said that even after when these whole the Undertaker series started on the network, that this kind of seems like the last thing he's going to do. Saudi, I'm with Bobby. I see him going for that sweet Saudi money if he has to. Yeah, I do. I really do. I don't think, like I said, even fucking Shawn Michaels came out of retirement for that cash.
And think about it, Shawn, like I said, to me, like Shawn was like, he was pretty steadfast, and you gotta figure the money they threw at him for Saudi had to be at a fucking arm and a leg, because you gotta know that with every WrestleMania that came up, Vince was offering him crazy money, and he said no. He resisted. Almost a full decade, this dude stayed retired. But man, they said, hey Shawn, no. I want you to go to Saudi. No. $3 million. Super kick, cross chop, throw an elbow for me. All right, send me my ticket. I'm on the way. But I mean, man. But I guess real quick, I'm not gonna really get into SmackDown, but did that ending creep anybody else out? You know, you got Jeff in the middle of the ring doing the Undertaker pose, and then they put him up on a Titantron. To Smart's point earlier, if you didn't know any better, if you had been in a coma for the past decade, you would have been like, "Oh shit, the Undertaker died." Like it just it was a very creepy vibe the way that show ended. Like if you didn't know any better, if you weren't like a social media, you would have literally thought Taker just passed away the way they ended. You got a dude in the middle of the ring doing his pose. You go, you have nobody talking about anything. You just have a shot at him on a Titantron.
Yeah, it was weird. It was, and that's why I said it was kind of laughingly the way it was done. I mean, it was kind of funny, and and by the way, that little promo by Jeff Hardy tonight was like soundbite central. I mean, what the fuck was that? I mean, that was like a clusterfuck of cliches. That Jeff...
it was. I was laughing at it. Like, I thought it was cool because I don't remember if they acknowledged it on TV or not, but like, okay, they have their history together, right? Because he was part of what got Jeff the big singles push for the first time.
Yep.
That whole, I respect you thing with the ladder match or whatever the fuck it was. And lost it. Had it and lost it. It is gone. No, I'll get it back here. Give me a second. Oh, but yeah, that promo. Like, so it was cool that they decided to use him to make him part of the story of the night. But like, oh my god, like, yeah, I went to school at Dead Man University, and let me tell you, I'm just gonna keep on rolling because that's what takes.
And honestly, and look, you know the thing is, look, Jeff Hardy will never be confused with like The Rock or Austin or Flair when it comes to promos. But you know the one thing I've always noticed about Jeff, especially in TNA, when you kind of give Jeff like bullet points and you just let Jeff be Jeff and express and articulate in his own voice, in his own unique way, the dude is not a bad promo guy. He's really not. I mean, like I said, he won't necessarily blow you away like that was clever, that was witty. But when you just let Jeff be Jeff, he's not a bad stick man. But when you give him this cliche bullshit to spout out, it just comes across so bad. Because you could tell he doesn't feel the material, but it's like, hey, I gotta, they're paying me a shit ton of money to do it, so I gotta do it. It never comes across like his heart is in it. It comes across like he's just trying to get through the segment.
It reminds me of, like, and this is, I feel like, the worst example of this for any number of reasons now. Like, do you guys remember in TNA when, like, Abyss was, like, the world's biggest fucking Hulkamaniac?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just some shit like that where he's like, oh, Hulk Hogan gave me this ring, and then he, like, was, like, coming out wearing the fucking red and, so just, anytime I hear like promos like this, because it just sounded like he was, and I guess that's supposed to be the point, but like he just sounded like the biggest fucking mark in the world.
Yeah, it was weird, and the ending was weird, and like I said, that promo was a fucking clusterfuck of cliches, and it was just awful. I sat there watching it, going, "Really, dude? Is this really? What the fuck are you talking about?" And they didn't even go together half the time. It was just a bunch of fucking cliches. Oh.
On a lighter note, but a little slightly more positive note, which they're all about positivity, so it works. The New Day recently celebrated a milestone. Somebody had posted on, I don't have it in front of me, but somebody posted on Twitter that the New Day have officially become the longest faction that they've become the longest stable that has stayed a stable with no breakups at like over 2,000 days. It was like 2,167 days or something consecutively. No type of beef, no type of breakup. They've been together consistently for 2,000 plus days.
Awesome. That's good, man. Wow. And I listen, as much as I want Big E to be that fucking breakout star, it ain't time yet. It ain't time. They're so, and by the way, them throwing their jackets at Corey is just hilarious to me. I laughed. I laughed so hard. And then not even Biggie. Big E throwing it was one thing, and then Kofi gave him like 13, 15 seconds, and then threw his jacket at him again, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking great."
No, fucking no. Big E, look, Big E is. I'll say, let's wrap that man in bubble wrap. He's the gift we don't deserve. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of the show, man, like this is how, like, this is a living embodiment of JR's old "gotta maximize your minutes." Mm-hmm. You got that whole crowd, you got that whole crew of people on the stage, no mask, by the way, no social distancing, clapping after that awesome Undertaker video to open up the show. Thank you, Taker. And you got Big E gyrating on cue, on beat to the thank you, Taker. Like, I could not look. You had to see of people right on the stage. I could not take my eyes off of Big E. Like, Big E knew how to keep the attention on him because he's in the background doing the hip swivel, the gyrate on cue. Go back and watch the clip if you think I'm lying. It was the funniest shit ever, bro.
I'm telling you, man. Big E at one point, if they don't fucking pull the trigger and make him the fucking focal point of that company at one point, they are literally shooting themselves in the foot. He would be. I'm telling you, man. I've said it 1,000 times. I've said it on show after show. That guy would be the guy to have the belt over his shoulder on every morning talk show that you could fucking get him on, because he's not going to say anything stupid and he's going to be enter-fucking-taining. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That guy will fucking do the job for you. So hopefully, eventually, I'm not saying now, but eventually they see him and they go, that should be the guy we're putting on the fucking talk shows. He has personality. He can talk. He can fucking improv. He is a funny person, and that is all that should fucking matter. The guy is fucking talented. That's it.
No, you know who the WWE's next breakout star is going to be? And I'm not even lying. This man will be main eventing WrestleMania for the next 10 years, especially given current events.
Who?
Titus O'Neil. You know why? And I'm not even being. Look, dude. This dude was named a finalist in the sports humanitarian awards, sponsored by ESPN. It's been all over. I mean, WWE's been promoting the fuck out of it on their page, especially with all the Black Lives Matter. And look, Titus O'Neil, just in general, like, fuck his skin color. This dude is like a genuinely good dude, so I'm happy to see him getting all this press. But I would not be surprised to see his, because they've kind of like, he hasn't been featured on television a whole hell of a lot recently. But I would not be surprised in the least, especially him being named a finalist, humanitarian of the year. That's pretty big shit. I wouldn't be surprised to see his TV profile upgraded in the weeks and the months.
I honestly think that he's a better ambassador for this company than a wrestler for this company. I really do.
I agree, but you know that they're gonna milk it.
Of course, and he'll. You're right. He probably will have a couple matches, but I really think that he is a better ambassador for that company because he's a great person. He really is. You can see that. You can tell. He looks like he's just the kind of guy that you just want to be around. But in the ring, I just don't see it. But as far as an ambassador for that company, I don't think you could find a better guy. I really don't. Honestly, he's got the personality. People like him. He's a great humanitarian. There's no reason not to have him as an incredible ambassador for that company. But in my opinion, as far as in ring, that's all. Yeah, I just don't think he's an in-ring guy at all. But I don't know, man. On that note, guys, it's we are way over 3 hours here.
So
go ahead.
I've got one thing, I guess, and somewhat of a positive, but it's just really more of a random thing that I saw while I was perusing through Twitter. So, New Japan has an interesting partnership with a beverage company, with Zima, specifically.
Zima?
Yeah, Zima, of all things.
Wow.
And I just thought it was interesting. Apparently, like, this weekend, I don't know if they're going to keep doing it after the fact. I'll post a little link here in the chat room. They're attaching on each bottle of Zima a Tanahashi like baseball type card to every one of their bottles. And it's like it's just a very bizarre like promotion that they're doing, but be that as it may, it's one of the only things in wrestling right now that like isn't covered in fire, and that says
Wow, 1994 is back. By the way, if you put a Jolly Rancher in a Zima, it's very good. Just let it sit there for a while. Yeah, I said, Smark, you posted that in the chat room. Appreciate that. I do see the pictures now, and wow, Zima.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a Zima since I was underage to drink.
And I really like to know, like,
what was that, Bobby?
It hasn't been available since you were underage to drink.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why. But wow, that's weird. But the cool pictures. I mean, what's in that? A lemon? Is that a lemon he's shoving in there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lemon.
Okay. Yeah.
It's fucking weird, but I mean, I would like you know how it is. Sometimes there's like just random obscure shit becomes super over in Japan. I don't know if that's like the case. If there's a big Zima market in Japan, but there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh. I just want to end the show on a super positive note by shouting out Antox once again. I like to give credit where it's due, and I had to correct myself. Rain Man brain fart. Hey, it happens. Remember how I said Taker's last match in Saudi was against Goldberg? Mm-hmm. That would actually be incorrect. It was actually earlier this year. Because if you'll remember, they were there in February when Taker lost to when Taker beat AJ. Basically, it was a squash match for that trophy, which led to the build up to the WrestleMania match. So
that's
Taker
what I was talking about.
He did have a positive experience out in Saudi.
That's what I was talking about, where he still wore the hat and everything. Never took the hat off. Yeah. Thanks, Antox.
Yeah, thank you. You always keep me honest, man.
Of course. Weeb said Zima drinkers frown upon White Claw drinkers. Wow. That's pretty bad. Fucking White Claw.
This episode has officially been sponsored by 1994.
Fucking White Claw. I remember last week I pulled up an article last week of the fact that Joey Janela said he got Tony Khan so hooked on White Claw he brings bags of it to the arena. It's like, is that really something to be proud of? I mean, come on.
My owners are raging alcoholic.
Jesus, but
and if I'm the owner of the company, would I be cool with the somebody that I pay putting that kind of information out there? Which, by the way, isn't it amazing that Joey Janela seemed to have more buzz when he was doing his own thing on the Indies than he does now when he's on national fucking television? Let that shit sink in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even watch all the Dynamite this week, but I'm like, man, I did see his segment on the show. I'm like, Joey Janela hasn't felt like more of an afterthought than this specific episode of Dynamite. This is a dude that, like I said, once again, he was on ESPN. He had all of this buzz wrestling in front of like 200-300 people. He's on national television now, and his buzz means shit. How the fuck does that happen?
Man. Crazy shit, man. I don't know. But you're right. He did. He had way more buzz on the Indies than he has right now. But, I mean, that's kind of how it goes. You get on a national television show and you can get lost in the shuffle. And even AEW, it's going to happen. And I'm not saying he's lost in the shuffle. He's got this whole new thing going with Sonny Kiss, which I don't know if they touched on it at all this week, but I'm gonna get. I don't know why, but AEW did not DVR, so I'll get it. But
yeah, we'll talk about it next week. But all I will say is, once again, man, with everything going on with hate crimes and all that, I'll be honest, I kind of got a chuckle out of Sonny Kiss getting his ass whooped. I'm like, I swear, at one point he got one of the heels beating on him. I heard a Marlon Wayans type scream. Ah! I'm like, oh Lord. That was the funniest shit. I should not have laughed as hard as I did. But you know,
it's an amazing segment. I will say that much. Like that, I don't know what it was that he was wearing during that segment, but it was fucking wild.
Yes.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I will check it out. I know how to get AEW, so I will do that. But all right, man, guys. Like I said, way over 3 hours. You want to wrap this motherfucker up?
Yeah.
All right.
100. It's 100 more.
There you go. 100 episodes in the books, and we appreciate it. Once again, chat room, downloaders, everyone who's had anything small, big, anywhere to do with this show, we much appreciate you very, very much. And Bobby, tell them where they can find you, my man.
Yep, as always, Inhuman Experience, me and my partner, my ace, my fellow Inhuman, Bobby Blades. We talk paranormal, strange, and unexplained, things of that nature. Available everywhere, man. Anywhere you can find podcasts, that's where it is. Of course, I'm also... I have a regular segment on Saturday morning cartoons. That's morning with a U. Check that out. I'm proud of that one. It's not my show, but I do have a segment on there every single week. Also available absolutely everywhere. And of course, I do have another venture that I'm very proud of. It's just been taken way off, man. And me and the other guys involved are just we're thrilled to death at how it's just been taken off, but I'm gonna hold off on that because I want my boy Smart to plug that one for me.
Absolutely, here we go. Planet Raconteur, the Planet Raconteur podcast with the aforementioned, aforeheard Bobby and the Papa Dave Sincere and Yuck Nasty. You can hear us, you can listen to them, check them out, motherfuckers.
There you go. And, of course, you got the high marks. We got Unscripted Wrestling. And, of course, Stephen Milan. Stephen Milan, you share the show. You don't know how much we appreciate it, and I can't even put it in words. But we do. Really appreciate you sharing the show. That is Stephen Milan, letterboxed, boxt.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in Milan. Catch him over there reviewing films. And, of course, subscribe, rate, review. You guys know what to do. And you can find us on Spreaker, iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. And don't forget, definitely subscribe to our YouTube. And Anthony, hit it.
Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast. Jason Clark, subscribe, download, review. You know the drill. Available on iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Check them out. And Rant Time with Ray, available on Anchor.fm. Also, follow the YouTube companion show with a video component. Story Time with Ray, RAE.
There you go. And that's it, guys. This is our 100th show. Once again, appreciate everybody listening, downloading, chat room. You know how much we appreciate you guys. And Smart, Anthony, Bobby, can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. That's it, guys. 100. And I can't wait to hit 101 and just keep going from there. All right. On that note, we will see you guys Wednesday night. See you.
Peace.
You got to go home, go home. Go home. It's time to take your drunken ass home. It's all right. If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass home.